Saturday presents, in the red corner, the undisputed, undefeated Weed Whacker Guy. Champion of hurling grass and pollen everywhere. And in the blue corner, the challenger, extra strength Saturday. Eye drops that work all day to prevent the release of histamines that cause itchy allergy eyes. And the winner by knockout is Saturday. Saturday, bring it on.
Live from New York, it's a show that's debuting a brand new segment that we had kicked around a few weeks ago. Hey!
We or you?
What's going on?
I do like that. I do like that.
You like that?
When are we doing it?
I love it. I'm waiting for it to start.
I think we might just freestyle one. Hey! What's going on? It's like a Four Non-Blondes thing. Do you remember that? You remember Four Non-Blondes?
I mean,
like Marvin Harrison Jr.
Hey!
What's going on?
Yeah.
Right?
Do you like that?
Or a positive, too. What's a positive one?
Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones, exactly.
Hey!
What's going on? I got another one.
Go ahead.
Ashton Genty. What's going on?
No, hey.
That's not a good one.
No, hey.
Oh, hey. What's going on?
They can't block for him. Answer them. There you go. It's
a good segment.
Well, I do like Genty, so.
You do, Brew.
That might be it.
Brew.
I do.
Brew.
He likes him.
You like everyone, which means you like no one.
First hour, first things first. Very new segment throughout the show. Chiefs are 1-2. Hey. What's going on?
So this is good.
He's so annoying.
Meanwhile, they're undefeated, but the offense has been good for just about a half of football. They're the Super Bowl champions. Hey. What's going on?
You notice he's at the show again, and
I
it's
know,
really
it's just him, man.
He's
You
you
trying
guys
to
carried
wrestle
it.
the star power
No,
back from you.
that's not
bro.
true.
It absolutely
And
is.
finally,
He has ignored me down the hallway.
I mean,
I haven't seen you, bro.
You've been when you
I've
have.
seen him.
It's
You've
been
seen
it's
Brew
Of
been
course.
frosty.
Brew and I have had lunch together twice this week.
Get out of town.
Yeah, and
When?
you know, when you weren't there, you know what we said?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on?
It works.
See, he didn't even promote the Bud List.
I'm promoting
He
the
just
Bud
did
List
hey,
right
what's-
now.
Oh, that's right. Wild's debuting a new segment of his own on Thursdays.
Oh, hey.
Which is Bud List Day.
What's going on? Anybody on the bubble of the Bud List that made you say, hey, what's going on?
No, it was pretty obvious this week.
Oh, okay.
It was pretty obvious.
I think there's some twists and turns in store for the Bud List.
We have an
you know.
awkward-looking cardboard cup on the desk.
I know.
Hey,
What's going on? It's First Things First Bowl 3. Two great pictures of Brew.
I'm
and
wearing a robe.
a
You
great
look
custom
great.
robe.
Nick is wearing Louis
Do you still
Vuitton.
have that Louis Vuitton thing?
Yeah, of course.
looks
I
great.
told you, I had to order it secondhand from Sweden.
It looks
Express shipping. It was very expensive.
Both teams 1-2,
And you got
but a good 1-2.
highlights in your hair.
No, I don't have highlights in
Put
my
that
hair.
back up.
Yeah.
He doesn't he have highlights?
That's just the Washington Post picture.
What is that? That's
the
our highlights.
Washington
Your hair is
Post
not
era.
red.
It looks nice.
I'm just telling
I like
you.
it.
that
I like it too.
there's
Did you
no
do that for the shot?
Yeah.
No,
You put a
that
little
is
sun
not
in.
how it looks.
No, it's good. Put a little lemon
not
juice in
true.
there in the summer.
It looks like highlights.
All right,
It looks
Let's
good,
go.
I think. Here's Harbaugh on the Ravens defense.
Oh, man.
I'm not worried about our defense either. I mean, I'm very determined, just like all the guys are, to pursue excellence. That's what we do, you know. So we're not wringing our hands about it. Bitterly disappointed, sure, of course. We know we can do something about it. You go out there and you go play, and you play well. So our coaches know what they're doing. Our players know what they're doing, and we'll be out there competing. We will show up, I promise you, and we will be ready to play.
I like that. The bar is pretty low there. The Ravens will be there on time.
Hold on, before you even ask
I
questions.
like what he
Oh, yeah.
said.
Oh, here we go.
Well, yesterday it didn't work, but every time we talk about this game,
All right.
first things first.
Excellent.
Let's go. Just so everybody knows the stakes again.
Absolutely.
Can Mahomes outplay Lamar Jackson?
I'm offended by the question.
Okay.
And so if it said will, I would not be offended by the question.
Oh, okay.
I think given the level Lamar has played at this year and last year, and the year before for that matter, in the regular season,
He was MVP.
and the level Mahomes has played at up to this point this season, the will would be a totally fair question.
Okay.
The can makes it outright offensive because they've played 6 times And Mahomes has done it every single time, including last year when Lamar was great, the year before when Lamar was great, when Mahomes was supposed, right. And so I will just quickly show America the 6 matchups. The first one ever was the closest Lamar ever came to, you could argue, outplaying Patrick. He had the higher passer rating, the best passer rating he's had in these matchups. Unfortunately for him, the defining play of the game was this one by Patrick that he came on our show a couple years ago, back when he would come on our show before Wilds took so many shots at him he won't come on anymore, which he called his favorite play of his career. That was a 4th down with, I mean, you can see it, a minute left, 4th down a touchdown to save the game that they went on to win. That was their first ever.
I gotta be honest, too.
Yeah.
That's so Ravens. There's like 4 dudes right there. I mean, it could have been an interception.
So that's
so Ravens, unironic. That's so Ravens.
I hate to say it.
That was
That's
great.
Team,
that's so
but,
Ravens.
man,
That's
yeah,
good.
that was totally
the next time they played is the only time Lamar has, or I'm sorry, he won the one after. The next time they played, Patrick thoroughly outplayed him in 2019. The next time they played was the only game, or I guess I'm wrong about which one they won. My apologies. But regardless, Patrick once again, 400 yards, a 133 rating. That's
back when he was.
That was a domination. Right, when Patrick was. Yeah, he didn't win league MVP that year, but almost did. This next one has to be the one the Ravens won. I'm not trolling here.
Yeah.
This is the one. I just had the order wrong. That Baltimore won, but again, that was not Lamar. Right. Lamar wasn't amazing in that game as far as a ball security perspective. He ran like crazy in that game. I think he had 120 on the ground, which is why the passer rating is what it was. And then we know the other times they've played what's happened. Again, AFC Championship game. Lamar had a bunch of yards, but much like the iconic play of the first game was a play we all remember. The most notable play for the two guys from this game was, as coach would call it, this pass into the team meeting in the 4th quarter to lose the game. And then last year, they played in week 1, and once again, Patrick won and outplayed him. So the narrative has gone a bit too far. If there is any matchup that exists where we are asking, can Patrick outplay the opposing team's quarterback, particularly when Patrick is going to be going against maybe the worst defense in football right now. So yes, Patrick can outplay Lamar.
Was that Dusty with the wording? Can?
I don't know.
No, we all okayed it. It wasn't me.
Of course he can. I mean, despite his mediocre statistical play over this year, last year, the year before to some degree, he's still, over the course of his career, the best quarterback I've ever seen. And he's still in his prime. And so, yes, he absolutely can outplay anybody. Josh Allen, Lamar, whoever it might be. But on Sunday, I expect Lamar to certainly have better statistics. All right, that was interesting. You showed it because he hasn't really been great statistically against the Chiefs. But Lamar has become amazing in the regular season. He's like LeBron now. Like, LeBron never has bad games. Even for LeBron, what's a bad game? It's still 25, 8, and 5 or something like that. Like, Lamar, his last 18 games in the regular season, these are his numbers.
It's unbelievable.
128 passer rating, 48 touchdowns. That's passing, not including rushing. 48 touchdowns to 3 interceptions.
I think if you look at those 3 interceptions, I think there's a handful of in guys' hands.
Yeah, probably. His accuracy is off the charts. And then the yards per attempt, too, is phenomenal. And, Nick, that passer rating, 18 games, obviously more than a full season. That would be the
record for a year.
By 6 points.
Yeah.
Like Aaron Rodgers has the record for a single season, 122. So, and in that stretch, I think Lamar's had 2 games where he hasn't had a passer rating of at least 101. 128 average. Mahomes hasn't had a game with a 128 passer rating since 2023. It's like a stretch of 28 games.
Is that the regular season only?
Regular season, yeah, because he did in the playoffs. But regular season, he hasn't. here's where even if Lamar is better statistically, and I do expect him to be better statistically, the question is, though, like Mahomes is still great situationally. Even if he doesn't have big numbers, third down. Who's going to be better on third down conversion?
Who's not going to
turn the ball over, have a bad turnover? Or who's going to, even a run. Now, obviously, Lamar is a tremendous runner, a better runner than Mahomes, but who might have that back-breaking scramble? These are the things that Mahomes has been better at and Lamar hasn't been as good at. So it's those things situationally where Mahomes, even without a big statistical day, could top Lamar. But I think statistically, Nick, I think Lamar is going to definitely have a better.
Lamar has not done well against Spags defense, flatly. And so I don't know that I necessarily agree that statistically he's going to have a better game. I guess we'll see. I also think, and it really reared its head in that Lions game, but this year, if this is not a Josh stat, this is a Nick stat, so Josh, you can double check me on this. There have been 21 red zone sacks in the NFL this season. Mm-hmm. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
5 of Lamar Jackson, 16 by the other 31 quarterbacks. That doesn't show up in any of those numbers of passer rating, and I think Lamar's been excellent.
Situational.
But that's right. And so there is an element of, you know what I mean, that part of so many of Lamar's greatest highlights that we could think of are plays where he could have, would have, should have been sacked, avoids it, and then hits somebody. Mm-hmm. And, the tax on that is sometimes you do end up actually getting sacked. He's not throwing the ball away. Yeah. You know what I mean? He's not giving up on a play, which I think can be hugely productive and worthwhile in most of the field of play, so to speak. In the red zone, it can hurt you. You know what I mean? Because it can take points off the board or hurt you from.
And they should be. Last year, they were the best red zone team in the league. Yep. This year, they're mediocre. They should be great in the red zone.
KW, can I ask you something? Because you seem very, very, from pre-show to now, for a guy who prays at the altar of quarterback wins.
Oh, yeah.
And a huge part of your Jalen Hurts argument has been the numbers are not irrelevant, but only of minor importance because the team is winning. You sure have abandoned Mahomes very quickly because of starting 0-2. And it's shocking to me. It would make more sense if you were if you weren't so steadfast about the only quarterback stat you care about is winning. And last year, he won more than any player in the league except for Jalen.
Yep.
The year before, they won the whole thing. The year before they won the whole thing, and he won league MVP. This year, they started 0-2, and you seem out entirely.
Because my Patrick Mahomes eye test is failing me, and I want to find a reason. Maybe it's no Xavier Worthy. Maybe it's no Rashee Rice. But he's completing 15. Here's Lamar and Patrick Mahomes this year. Lamar looks like the same guy he has been.
He looks almost better.
And the weird part is he looks like a different guy in the playoffs.
Yes.
And we are just like, the numbers support it, your eye supports it, his kind of demeanor supports it.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes is a different guy in the playoffs, and he looks like which is the last time I saw him, and he looks like a different guy than he was. Now, maybe that's just because of the receivers being out. Travis Kelce feels like he aged a little bit more rapidly in the offseason than we had expected. But with the completion percentage of 59, that's in between Russell Wilson, who just lost his job, and Michael Penix, who everybody around the league is saying, hey, what's going on with Penix?
So I wish you would focus on something other than completion percentage.
Why?
Because last year, when we were showing all of these Mahomes having his worst year ever graphic, what they showed was his career worst rating, yards per game, yards per attempt, and career best completion percentage. Last year, I think the only stat Patrick was top 5 in the league in was completion percentage. I just think that
59 is unusually
low. No, 59's low. Yeah, I agree, but so I don't think that's an indicator.
I know, but can I just
passer rating?
Yes,
and it might be because we look at the Chiefs games through a fine-tooth comb, but missing that Tyquan Thornton run, missing Kelsey, just like little ones that even Collinsworth is like, oh, that seems weird.
The Kelsey one seemed weird. The Thornton one, I don't. He then.
I know,
right, but then he made a harder one.
I know,
but again,
but
it's just about
the 40 seconds, and then last week he hit Thornton on back-to-back perfect deep bombs.
I know,
and so
but there has been more.
Okay.
What's going on?
He hasn't looked himself.
I agree. I agree with that. I've said that.
But situationally, he's still that's where he's. Even last year,
I don't know
when
if
he
the third down numbers support.
Well, last year situationally he was.
Yeah,
great.
but I don't.
No, this year because the
third
team
down,
was
right?
terrible on third down the first 2 games.
Yeah.
No.
Again, it's a small sample size, so it's strange. But Lamar has to.
You gotta get over.
That's what. Right.
It was like
this
last
is
year
another
with Pittsburgh.
Instance. Right, but it's also
and the
feels
playoffs.
also like the AFC Championship game 2 years ago, when the Ravens had the number 3 offense, the number 1 defense, the Chiefs that was the first time we had seen the Chiefs struggle in a regular season. They were on the road. There was a receiving core that was healthy, but worse than this one. It felt like you had to get over the hump there. They didn't. Then last year, they didn't even get an opportunity to get over the hump because they lost to Buffalo. Lamar has to win.
Lamar has to win.
Lamar has to win. You're favored. You have the
beat up.
Right. You have to win. It's a sad thing that he won't.
Odd.
Yeah.
One issue with the Ravens,
Lamar?
do this quickly, it's been Derrick Henry's fumbling. 3 fumbles in 3 straight games, 2 in the fourth quarter. He is not happy about it. Take a listen.
I'm still pissed off, mad at myself. I'm my worst critic, so, I don't try to harp on it too much, but at the same time, it's a problem that got to get fixed. So, I'm working on it. I'm working as hard as I can, to, let this issue be resolved. And, it's tough right now, just do consecutive weeks, back to back, which is crazy. So y'all saw me in distraught because I was just like, can't believe this happened for a 3rd time. But just got to go back to work and, push forward. Even though it's hard, can't nobody fix it but yourself.
Okay, so here's the data, bro. 647 rushes from 23 to 24, 2 years. Fumbles, 3. 2025, 41 rushes, fumbles, 3. And he's lost 2 and only lost 1 in the previous 36 games. Are you worried?
It's interesting because watching him against Buffalo before the fumble, but just the whole game, and then that first drive against Detroit, where he broke the 20-something yard touchdown run, I'm thinking to myself, is he maybe getting in the argument for like a top 5 running back of all time? Like, he is phenomenal, and his longevity.
Yeah.
Like the last 2 years he's averaged 5.9 yards a carry. All right. So then, of course, after the fumbles, I stopped thinking that. I said, let me put that on the table for now. But to answer your question, no, I'm not worried at all. And your numbers showed it. I had, maybe yours included playoffs, I had the last 2 years, previous 2 years, 605 carries, 3 fumbles.
Yeah.
This year he's got 41 carries, 3 fumbles. So I think this is an aberration. Now, I'm sure he's been working on just holding it high and tight and making sure every time he touches the ball, he's not getting careless with it, because guys are obviously punching at it. But he's, like I said, he's averaging 5.9 yards a carry. I don't think the fumbles are a sign of age. I think it's just.
Yeah, it's weird people trying to make that.
No,
I don't think that's age
I'm
at
not,
all. But do you see some signs of age? Because I don't.
Well, the last 2 games he's been bad. I'm not calling that age.
I think the Browns have the best run defense in the league. He had 23 yards. That was. So you do need a hole. Still.
Tell that to Ashton
No, I'm
Jensen.
saying that. That's why I'm liking it.
Right now, this is going to pollute almost all of our NFL conversations until about week 6, which is like if a team really struggles against a team, that team they struggle against will then have their stats inflated to where it's like, look, Derrick Henry couldn't run against Cleveland. So a third of Cleveland's run defense stats for the year are Derrick Henry struggling.
But you don't
so
think
they are now a great run defense.
Very good
no,
run
I
defense?
do. What I'm saying is it's a cousin
I get
of
it,
the
'cause
like
it's a small
right
sample
like
size.
here's the record of the teams, the undefeated teams have played, but it's like a third of their losses came to those teams. Whatever. I mean, it's just hard to draw huge conclusions on this size of sample.
If he were aging, I don't think he does that to Buffalo. I even think the first drive and even just the game period against Detroit, it's the fumbles.
So I don't.
Other than the fumbles,
I didn't
I have
think
no problem
the game
with
against Detroit he was very good.
After the first drive, he wasn't, but that. I mean, I don't care how good you are. Your line needs to block. Saquon, to me, is still great. Hasn't had a great running game.
No,
yet.
I agree with that, but I do think it is stark if we look at his week 1 versus the last 2 weeks. The numbers, I don't care about the fumbles so much. And here's the thing. It really is pre and post the fumble against Buffalo. Because he didn't touch the ball again after the fumble against Buffalo. Or if he did, it was, minimal. And he's just been bad since then.
But that first drive again, I know it was one drive, but against Detroit,
I thought he had one.
You don't see that many 20-some-odd yard touchdown runs in today's NFL.
He had an awesome play to score a touchdown in that first drive. What I'm saying is I think, should Brew be worried about Henry? A little.
I'm not at all. Not at all.
I mean, okay, I think that since he's been a Raven, and this is a similar since Saquon has been an Eagle, of his 5 worst games, 3 of them are the 3 to start this year. Since, that's a little concerning.
So they should be worried about Saquon.
A little.
Not the run game.
I don't think it's a full-on, hey, what's going on? But I think you can be a little worried.
I also think that, especially because we have seen for both of these backs and for basically all backs not named Emmitt Smith of the last 35 years, that after year of super high workload, they have a dip and then can come back.
I'm not worried.
We saw it with Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry had a dip and then came back.
He's still, top 5 in rushing yards?
Again,
that's a reason to be worried, bro. If Patrick Mahomes fumbles the ball, I think he goes back to the sidelines. He's like, shoot. If Derrick Henry gets the ball punched out, I think that he has no room for error anymore. You don't think that's
again?
Against
I thought you were talking about.
No, Spags is going to be like, guys, when Derrick Henry has the ball,
they're
you're
going
turning
after
into
it.
Yes.
But that's what teams do that all the time.
But now extra now that he's a little loose with it. And if he loses it, I think it's fair to wonder if his head is going to be in the game if he's lost 4 fumbles in 4 straight games.
If he fumbles again, then you keep fumbling, sure. I thought you were going to talk about his spazzing out on the sidelines because that seemed to bother you. To me, I don't mind a player getting emotional. How many times did Tom Brady break the freaking screen?
I think we looked at that differently because I thought that was a leftover emotion from week 1. You thought that was because he said going into the game he had fumbled in the last 2 games. So now it's 3 straight. So he's just. But if he fumbles in this game, he's going to be out here looking like Travis.
Well, if he fumbles,
yelling at Harbaugh, I'm losing his mind.
If he fumbles, I don't expect him to fumble.
The distinction I would draw is Brady's stuff on the sideline, Travis's stuff on the sideline, gave anger, and Derrick's thing almost was like, woe is me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I didn't take it as woe is me. I took it as frustration. Like I'm pissed at myself. That's what I took it as.
Okay. I take it as woe is me.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
just upset.
I'm surprised, Brew, that you don't have any. You seem fully confident that and I'm not trying to bring the Eagles into it, but that the Ravens and maybe to the same extent Eagles are going to get the same level of running back play.
No, not last year. I did expect Saquon to go for about 1,500. Yeah. Obviously, that looks like that's going to be a stretch.
But what about Henry, who had 1,900
I think he'll go over 1,200 easy. Like and when I'm looking at just him being a great running back. Like I said, he's averaging 6 yards a carry. 6 yards a carry.
It was 9 yards in week 1. It's been 3 yards since then. Like
the Browns. I know it's weird. I think
they do have a good defense.
The Browns have a really good defense. The Lions, I don't know that they have a really good defense.
Oh, they do. They definitely do. They shut down Derrick Henry. Do the Eagles need to win with some style? Jalen Hurts with a quote for the ages next on FS1, the Fox Sports Channel on Sirius XM. We didn't get to Micah. I know you.
What's going on?
Yeah. Sorry, we ran out of time.
I already love same-day delivery with Shipt, but it's so much better since I signed up for Target Circle 360. Why? Because I no longer pay price markups from the majority of stores through Shipt. Only a handful of alcohol retailers and items don't count. That means no markups on groceries, pet food, even home goods and makeup. So to recap, I have more time to catch up on life while someone shops for me, and I spend less. It's a win-win. Order now at shipt.com/360. Terms apply.
Check out the podcast if you get a chance. Oh, I thought we had to go. I was like trying to get fired up. Wow. And our YouTube channel has brand new bonus content that Gianna's crushing.
You hear about today's show, Greg?
Yeah, do you hear about today's show? New theme?
A new segment.
New segment coming up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's called Hey, What's Going On?
What? Exactly.
Also, we're doing Fox Super 6 Challenge here. Great. Play the Fox Super 6 NFL Challenge. You download the app. You enter for a free chance to win your share of $10,000 cash prizes.
You know, I won that 7 years ago, and then they said I'm not eligible because I'm an employee.
Did you really? Independent contractor.
What's going on?
I know that. It's in the fine print. Yeah. Eagles in Tampa Bay Sunday at 1 on Fox.
I did.
Great
it was
game.
an NFL draft one. I got all six right.
Hurts has been cruising since the loss to the
Back
Bucs.
when you were chubby.
But that Tampa Bay defense, he wasn't chubby. He was loaded. Bulking.
Bloated. That's worse.
Bloated.
You said bloated.
I said bulking. I didn't say
you said
bloated.
bloated.
And I'm saying it's none of the above. You guys were not here for this. This was pre-workout warrior Greg Jennings when he was
actually
quote,
chunky?
a little chubby.
Were you chubby? No.
Pull the clips, Holmes. Pull the clips. When he had the low fade.
Okay.
No. Oh, my God. Wow.
Sorry, let's do the show.
His wife said, you better get that weight.
Dusty, roll Jalen Hurts.
Stop.
Hope is in the game plan, and worry and fear is in the game plan either. And so going out there and truly feeling confident in having an answer versus anything that they do, that's always, what you're striving for. Everybody wants to have that sense of security in what we're doing. And then you have times where, they kind of get you. And that's a part of the game, and you learn from it, and you build from that.
Okay, Jalen has only 1 in 4 against the Bucs. He's completed less than 60% of his passes, averages more than a turnover a game. So do the 3-0 Eagles have something to prove against Tampa Bay?
Prove no. But this is the last team to beat them in the regular season with Jalen playing the full game. And the last 2 times they've played Tampa Bay, they've gotten blown out. And the game, blown out. Because 33-16 last year, 32-9 in the playoffs. So I don't think they have something to prove, but to themselves, just look, they've beaten us the last 2 times. Let's erase those memories in our minds and in theirs too. All right, and I think this is great for the Eagles because you're 3-0. You've won 17 of your last 18 games. You're coming off a big comeback win against a really good team. You've already beaten the Chiefs in Kansas City. You could easily relax and, get complacent, but not with Tampa Bay being on the schedule because of what they've done to you in the past. So I think this is great for the Eagles. I think Jalen will play well, and the Eagles are going to win.
Look, yes, they have something to prove. Every week starts a fresh week for coaches, and they always try to come up with a theme to kind of motivate the team. Well, naturally, they don't need one because this team has had their number. Despite who's been in or out of the lineup when these 2 teams have met, the Eagles have not fared well against the Bucs. And Jalen, with the exception of the last game, had a decent game, but he gets sacked. They get dominated in time of possession in the losses, completely dominated. And typically, all but one time, the team who's able to rush the ball the best wins the game. And so when you look at these things, you look at the Bucs, right now they're injured, they're banged up. And if you struggle with this team, a team that we all believe, and I'm sure they believe, is going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Who they might have to go through, or they might see each other again. And when you haven't had success as a team, not individual success, but as a team, both player and Jalen Hurts, coach and Nick Sirianni, they're both a part of this. Yes, you have to prove that we can beat this team. We're better than this team.
So this is so interesting because the Bucs are my Super Bowl pick. I'm probably higher on the Bucs going into the year and right now than, just about anybody. And I'm probably a touch lower on the Eagles than certainly anybody on this show. Like, I think they're a good team, but I think at full strength the Bucs are better. I think at full strength the Lions could be better. Like, I'm not quite as high on the Eagles as the rest of the show. And yet, I think this weekend the Eagles are at such a stark advantage that I was looking at this like the Eagles have to go out, should use this as an opportunity to go out and prove we actually can have an opening game script that is explosive, that works, that moves the ball downfield. Because we haven't had that yet. Even against the Cowboys, it was Jalen, you know what I mean? They weren't able to throw the ball effectively down the field. First game of the year, maybe. Right, that's what I'm talking about. The first game of the year, but that was, again, it wasn't throwing the ball. They were calling pass plays, but he wasn't seeing it and he was running. Tampa is going to be without likely 3/5 of its offensive line. Mike Evans, they are so banged up. And I know Philly's dealing with some injuries now as well, but they're not cluster injuries in one spot of the ball. That I think Philly should go into this game recognizing Jalen was frustrated with last week's game plan. We saw it on the sideline. He kind of put a little voice to it after the game. A.J. Brown's been frustrated. This is an opportunity, if we show the Eagles' passing numbers, to come out and make things easier on Saquon moving forward by improving this. Because one of my theories as to why Saquon is struggling or not being as productive is every team feels like they know, man, it doesn't matter what type of looks we give you. If we stack the box, we play single high, you're still running the ball. And if they come out, certainly early in games they are, if they come out with a pass-heavy opening script, I think it will open things up for Saquon moving forward. I think that you will see lighter boxes. You will see more too-high safety, and then Saquon can pop more. Like, I look at this game as the Eagles, even though and the Vegas agrees with me, I guess, because they're on the road against an undefeated team. They're more than a field goal favorite. As a game, the Eagles have a bit of a margin for error game plan-wise. So I would say, you know what, Jalen and A.J. Brown, you pretty clearly want us to lean on you a little more in these spots. We will. Because if I'm Kevin Patullo, the new offensive coordinator, I have to have the humility to say, my game plan for the Rams game was terrible. You know what I mean? My game plan for the Rams game was not the right one. We were very lucky to even be able to come back in that game, and it was because I did what I didn't want to do, which is throw the ball a ton. So
well, that would be the case against anybody, right?
What do you mean?
Come out and throw the ball a little bit.
Yes,
more.
that's what I'm saying. You guys that's why I'm saying I'm looking at it differently. You guys are looking at it more as like the Buccaneers have had the Eagles' number. I think the Eagles have right now the swagger of a team. Nobody's got our number. Somebody had to be the last team to beat us. It happened to be you.
But they better win this game. Like, I think the priority in this game, because I agree that they should throw the ball more, especially downfield. But this game, it's like win. This is one of those, I don't care if they win ugly. They just need to win. And then if it comes with all that, then fine. But in this game, my priority as the Eagles would be, we just got to go out, get out of there with a W.
But don't you think that they should feel like we can do that
a little bit
by throwing the ball?
Like a little bit of like an experimentation.
Yeah, that's what I didn't like. I don't want to experiment.
Yeah, maybe it's been a year.
I'm trying to win.
But it shouldn't be. I guess my point is, and this is me, kind of. I guess it's having a take you could have or should have, like that. It should not be considered risky or experimenting to say, hey, $50 million a year Super Bowl MVP. We're having a you-focused game plan. With a multi-time first-team All-Pro receiver here, a great receiver there, a good tight end, awesome offensive line. This isn't like, hey, Jaxson Dart, go out there.
But are they doing it, I'll ask you, Greg, are they doing it because that's what Tampa Bay is allowing, or are they doing it because media pressure, a little bit of Jalen, a little bit of A.J. Brown?
And this is where I'm like, they have a recipe. Yeah. And it is working. It just doesn't look good to us. It's not what we want to see. We always want to see a little bit more because we've seen more. But I understand what you're saying. But if the recipe works and we're able to adjust on the fly if we need to, then I don't care what anybody is saying. Right. I don't care are we all bought in. Are we all into what we're trying to get accomplished?
But it feels like that's trying to fracture.
Because the recipe didn't work against the Rams. They cooked a whole meal, and it was so bad they ordered takeout, and it was delicious, and everyone was happy. The recipe changed right after halftime. And like if I'm Kevin Patullo and I'm the Eagles' offensive coordinator, I can't say, man, if Jordan Davis didn't get his hand up, I would be saying, all right, we need to adjust because finally the game plan, we lost the game. But because he did, I now need to act like everything went according to plan. To me, the Eagles team gets credit, massive credit for winning the game. The offensive game plan, in my opinion, in that Rams game was bad. And they didn't win because of it. They won despite it. That's the distinction I would draw.
Dallas, we have a problem. We traded Micah Parsons, and now he's going to return to a hero's welcome. Not getting a tribute video doesn't bother him. Take a listen.
There's a lot of things I can consider disrespectful throughout this process, but I want to say the tribute is one of them. I would say, I just think, there's hard feelings maybe there for them, but, for me, I'm happy where I'm at. And we got a really good football team, so I guess I can give you my tribute and a win, I hope.
Bree, your reaction?
He's right on the money. Like, what was disrespectful is you refusing to talk to my agent. What was disrespectful is you talking to me and thinking that was the deal. Disrespectful that every other team in the league pays a future Hall of Famer and you wouldn't pay me. Disrespectful to act like once I'm traded, our defense got better. Like, even though there's no statistical evidence or eye test evidence to say that. So all of that's disrespectful. Then there were rumblings. There were some reports about locker room, some players not digging Micah and all that stuff. So he's right. The video, he was only there 4 years. You never won a playoff game. It wasn't his fault, but it wasn't like some fantastic era for the Cowboys that he spearheaded.
Game, right?
Well, I'm sorry, they won one. They won one playoff game. It might have been the first year. Yeah. They won one playoff game. But again, largely a disappointing team run during his tenure. So no, and I expect Micah to go crazy. One, Dallas isn't that good. I think he will get multiple sacks.
Wow.
But more than that, he will open it up for and Rashawn Gary, who's been getting a ton of sacks, is probably going to get another one or two. And I just think they're going to focus on Mike and try to stop him. It's going to open it up for other guys.
Yeah, so I'm cool with Micah saying this. I mentioned this yesterday. Like, as players, you don't think, oh, I'm going to get a tribute video, or I would love to have a tribute video. You don't even think about that. So if a team chooses to do it, so be it. However, what I can relate to, and I know he feels this, and you don't say it, like, your feelings are hurt. Like, yes, and you take it as disrespect, and some of it may very well be. But more than even the disrespect, man, I told y'all, I pretty much told you how I felt about you. I told you I wanted to be here. I told you I wanted to do whatever it took for us to get it done. And then you just threw me away. Like, there's a feeling of your feelings are just hurt. And so naturally, he's going to,
You got dumped.
Basically, naturally, you're going to want to take it out on everybody.
Weird place right now.
No,
You did get dumped.
Too emotional.
Though I think
That's what it's like, though.
I think we saw it. We saw it with the other future first ballot Hall of Famer that was traded out of the city of Dallas. He was devastated.
Yes.
Now, Micah's was different in that Luka was blindsided by it. Where it's similar is that I've been excellent, and I've given you no indication up to, for Micah, the trade request. Mm-hmm. I wanted to be elsewhere, and my play hasn't dipped. Right. I haven't dipped. And in Micah's case, while, yes, he did ask for a trade when things broke down, he reminded us this was the team he grew up wanting to play for in the Dallas Cowboys. That he was. So I think that I'm really glad, even though Wild's made fun of you, but they're being mean to you, Greg.
They
just because
are,
I
man.
called you chubby. I was kidding. I've known you for a decade. It's different.
I'm not being mean.
They think that they have the relationship with you that
They
I
don't.
do. It's crazy. They don't sit on the table.
He called you chubby.
Yeah, that's all right, but we're always like that. Understood. We get that language.
You can't do it.
Exactly. That's right. But I think we forget the logistics of being traded. Like, I have to move my family, that part of it. And then the emotion of, man, you actually didn't want me anymore.
Yeah,
Like, and so I think that's a real piece of it.
You know what this is?
What?
Take chip.
Uh-huh.
I'd like to put a take chip on a part of the board that no one.
Okay.
That's wide open on the.
The take roulette wheel.
The take roulette wheel. No one's playing this. Bad game for Micah. Just one chip. Bad game.
I
know it's like he's going to be on fire. He's going to just putting it out there.
Here's the
just an invisible game.
So
I don't think Sean Eimer is not going to let or Eberflus.
Yeah, he's going to double him. And
Yes,
all that.
Sean Eimer's like, do not let this guy beat us.
So that's kind of why I think it's impossible for him to have a bad
That could
game.
be a good game.
Because I think he's going to draw so much attention that other guys will, even if he
Gary
is
has
not
3
great
sacks.
himself, the attention he draws is going to be there, and it's going to open things up for everyone.
This is the benefit of playing defense.
I know.
Like,
the only bad game's a loss.
¿Hablas español?
Sprichst du Deutsch?
Kan du norsk?
If you used Babbel, you would. Babbel's conversation-based techniques teaches you useful words and phrases to get you speaking quickly about the things you actually talk about in the real world, with lessons handcrafted by over 200 language experts and voiced by real native speakers. Babbel is like having a private tutor in your pocket. Start speaking with Babbel today. Get up to 55% off your Babbel subscription right now at babbel.com/Spotify. Spelled BABBEL.com/Spotify. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Chargers 6-point favorites against new Giants QB Jaxson Dart. Harbaugh talked about Dart's aura. Take a listen.
He's good. He's a good player. You can already see that on the tape that we have seen. Presence, mobility, sees the entire field, accurate thrower, all the good things. He's got it. Yeah, he's got that it factor too. Can see that as well.
Can see the it factor. That's aura.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah,
Brew, you don't like this idea of the Giants putting the Chargers on upset alert?
Are you serious?
Well,
no. No way, no how. As my partner Rob Parker would say back on the Odd Couple. There is no chance the Giants and Jaxson Dart are beating the Chargers. None. All right?
None, Brew?
None. I mean, besides the any given Sunday type of thing, anything can happen. This is what a rookie quarterback going against one of the best defenses in the league and a good pass defense. This is what the latest rookies, all of whom essentially were held in higher esteem than Jaxson Dart, did in their debut.
Yeah, but 2 of them won. Yeah. 2 of the 4 won. I mean, 2 of the 6 won.
They weren't playing one of a Super Bowl contender. I mean, look, the passer ratings aren't good for the most part. The interceptions, other than Drake May, shout out to you, Wilds. Nobody's really thrown a touchdown. Like, it's just a tough, and I think Jaxson Dart, from the little I've seen, could be a good quarterback. It's really nothing to do with him. I'm just saying a rookie going against a Super Bowl contender early in the season where they're not likely to get complacent and take a weekend off. I just think they're not going to win.
I obviously think the Chargers are going to win. However, for you to say they have no chance, I think there is an element of the new coach bump that could apply here.
Love it.
So by that I mean a lot of times teams are just terrible. They fire their coach, and for that next game, they play really well because, as it turns out, guys didn't like the coach. Right. And they, sometimes that gets go to that guy Antonio Pierce's job. You know what I mean? Like different things we've seen, and I'm not trying to pick on Antonio, but like that
Jeff
was
Saturday.
Right. Jeff Saturday got we've seen those things, right?
They liked Russ.
I don't think they did. And I'm not talking about as a person. I'm not saying they dislike Russ as a guy. What I'm saying is I think that you saw it throughout that Chiefs game that offense felt like we got no shot.
Yep.
And I think that they will deal with what will be inevitable rookie mistakes to just Malik Neighbors is going to feel energized, right? Like I think that, and I also think, even though the numbers don't yet show it, that the Giants have a good defense. And so I think a good defense at home, potentially energized, I think you've got to give them a shot against a banged-up Chargers team. That's all I'm saying.
No.
No. Wow.
There will be an initial surge. I agree with you. Just like the head coach bump, the inserting of a quarterback, you've been wanting change. You've been kind of screaming for change. Your fan base has been wanting this to happen. And even the guys in the locker room. I get that. However, there's quarters to this that it's going to have to be played. There's downs. There's third downs. There's situational football. All these things are going to have to be played out by Jaxson Dart. The it factor that Harbaugh is talking about is unknown. We haven't seen any of it. We
saw
see
it in the preseason.
We saw vibes.
Yeah.
We see and that carries a little bit. And then the game starts, and now your play has to carry you. So there's a lot of unknown out there. And with Jaxson Dart, do I believe that Malik Neighbors is going to be pumped up and ready to go and all the other guys? Of course. The L.A. Chargers are going to say, you know what, stop the run. Let's see if he can beat us. And don't let him get out the pocket. Because we know he can use his legs as well. But can he be a 1-2-3 thrower?
No, I don't think that's going to happen.
So, that's what you are going to try to force him to be.
Listen, I think it's an uphill battle. I guess my point is I don't know that I think the Giants' offense is that much worse than the Broncos' offense. And I saw the Broncos' offense move the ball a bit on the Chargers. Yeah. Not a lot, but a bit. And so I'm not putting it at zero. I'm not putting it at zero the way.
I know you say you like that Giants defense, and we like the names, but that defense is terrible.
It hasn't been good.
Well, the defense was awful against the Cowboys. The defense was fine in week 1, and the defense was good in week 3.
Live from New York, it's a show that is halfway through introducing a brand new segment to the show called Hey, what's going on? What you do is, if you want to play at home, you find something where you're like, hey, what's going on? You say that person's name or the phenomenon, and then say, hey, what's going on? Do you want to give it a shot, Greg?
I don't. I'm not going to entertain.
Give me an example.
Are you going to work it
Sure.
in? You're going to be able to
Greg's reluctance to play the game. Hey, what's going on? Second hour, first things first.
Not bad.
I'm telling you,
Not bad.
Today, do the Cowboys have J-Lo on Dud Watch? I told Dusty wrote that. I said, Dusty, you're going to have problems in your interpersonal relationships.
It's not Pumpkin Watch. Pumpkin Watch would have been a bridge.
But the larger story is Dusty just speaks in first things first code. No one knows what he's talking about.
He's an instigator.
J-Lo on Dud Watch. It's not good. Touch grass. You got to
don't say touch grass.
Why? Cry about it.
Touch grass.
Meanwhile, should any team out here call the Giants to see if Russell Wilson wants to play for them? Wish you didn't do that Kenny Pickett trade, huh? Interesting, right? Or reunion? Yeah, you like that. Cry about it. But right now, of course, it's time to go to the post office.
Who'd we send this week?
Christina always
I told
goes.
you Christina got a promotion.
I told Christina
you can't
not
keep sending
to go
her to the post office.
I told her not to go
we
to the post office.
We have interns now.
And she said, did you go to the post office? Why
No,
not?
because
Christina won't let him. He's not even mic'd up trying to talk because he's not allowed to go to the post office. Christina, let the new interns go to the post office. Dear Wilds, love the show. Why? Thank you. It's a team effort. Since I know you are such a fan of tributes, huge fan, do you find it strange that Micah isn't being acknowledged on his return to Dallas? Cheers, Don. I actually do find it weird. We've discussed it a little bit. I think anytime a great Cowboy returns home deserves a... Oh, see, there we go.
Yeah.
Who am I with?
Who are these guys?
That was Cooper Flagg, I believe. These are just going through some of our tributes of...
Why is he gone fishing? What's that one?
These are all
that one isn't bad.
These are all that we've. These are ones that
we've That's Cooper
These are ones
Flagg.
that we've
Cooper
done.
Flag?
Yeah,
Yes.
What's this one? Oh, that's the Brock Purdy boots
Oh, my
commercial. Oh man, that's a good one. All right.
All
I
right.
forgot the gone fishing one. That looks great, bro. What was this?
Well,
with
I
the
got a
plants?
great bud
No way to
list
tell.
for you guys.
Oh,
thanks.
great.
Number 3, the Chiefs.
Oh.
Thank you, Brew.
The whole team.
The motivation we will get from this.
Yes, the Chiefs.
Oh, this might flip the
I'm
game.
fair. I'm objective. I'm fair. I'm giving y'all some motivation.
whole team.
Here it is. Are you still the Chiefs?
Oh.
I mean, like the Chiefs we've come to know and love. All right? I mean, I know your fans are taking heart that you played the Chargers and the Eagles close.
That's true.
Am I right? Denver actually played the Chargers closer. All right, and Dallas and the Rams had the Eagles on the ropes. So I don't know, and your win, the Giants, not impressive. All right, so we're wondering, are you still the Chiefs? Now, the 3 Super Bowl wins wasn't ancient history, so you still have the mystique, at least with some of the teams, and the Ravens are one of those that have appeared to be a bit shook in your presence. But if you lose that game Sunday, that is gone.
Why?
And if the Ravens can go into your house and beat you down, go into your house and watch a movie and drink pop, oh, the mystique is gone. And should you meet them in the postseason, it won't be pretty. And Patrick, you know I believe in you. I mean, I was the first to call you Jordan Ness, the first to call you the GOAT, according to Sports Illustrated.
No, that's not what Sports Illustrated.
Sports Illustrated had me as the first. This was supposed to be the year of the light show.
I know, we haven't seen it.
Instead, it's been more mediocrity, keeping it real. Like 23rd in the league right now in passer rating. We can't blame it all on the injuries. Other guys got injuries, quarterbacks have their receivers injured too. So you guys know I do believe in you guys, the Chiefs, but just not this weekend because I'm rolling with number 2.
No,
the Ravens.
This is undone.
The Ravens. It's about, all right, look, Ravens, it's now or never. I mean, this team has had your number. Lamar is 1-5 against the Chiefs. Derrick Henry, last time you played the Chiefs, you rushed for 46 yards. All right? They broke your heart 2 years ago when it seemed like everything was pointing to a Super Bowl for you guys. They left you frustrated last season when Isaiah Likely didn't get the toe down. All this stuff. But those were the Super Bowl Chiefs. These are the 1-2 Chiefs without their best receiver. I get it, it's in Kansas City, so that'll be tough, but still, you must pounce. This is your opportunity. And the thing is, a win over the Chiefs, it'll erase that bad loss against Buffalo. It'll erase that bad loss last week against Detroit. And you will start anew. Forget the tackle that turned the tide.
Thank you.
It'll be the first things first chip that righted the ship.
Oh.
Should you guys get that win, Lamar, Harbaugh, Derrick, I believe in all y'all. Marlon Humphrey, go get it. Number 1. 1.
What a bud list so far.
This is a bud list first. I think this is the first time this has ever happened.
Oh, my goodness.
My buddy!
No.
Nick Wright!
Live?
That's right! Nick Wright is on the bud
This
list.
is not even a picture of me. It's just me.
You, Nick
Freaking me
Wright,
out.
have had the good fortune of being born in Kansas City. And that's something you don't hear often.
Well, that's a low blow, but.
I'm just kidding, Kansas City. I'm beloved there. I'm beloved there. No, you have had the good fortune of being born in Kansas City. So now these past 7 years have been awesome for you. Yeah. And myself and Wilds and Greg and Coach have had to sit here Monday after Monday, February 10th or whatever the date will be after the Super Bowl, and eat humble pie, eat crow, just sit there and take it. While you have gloated, peacocked, and all of that stuff. Celebrated, put it in our face, but that might be coming to an end. The Chiefs look vulnerable, and I know they've overcome adversity in the past. I know Mahomes is in his prime still, but Kelsey's not. The receivers, there's no Tyreek Hill, even when they get healthy. So is this still the same team? And if it is not, oh my. Your 2-0 record in the first things first bowl, which I didn't know was a bowl till this week, but still, you're 2-0, I've never won it. You might lose your championship belt to me.
Wow.
And I know that'd be tough to swallow after all the success
else to
you've had, all the bragging.
Hold on, isn't there something you usually say at the end?
Yeah, that's a good point.
About how you.
Your turn.
No. Don't you say like, and Nick.
I do believe in
All right,
you.
there we go. Thank you. All right, thanks.
I do
just
believe
need to
in
hear
you.
that. All right, I feel great. I feel great. The power of the bud list. I'm in first. The whole Chiefs roster is in third. That trumps the Ravens being in second. I feel great. I think the point spread just moved. Check it, Gianna. I bet it's down to just 2 on DraftKings right now.
I'm going to throw the Packers offense on the bud list.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Just going to be on
yes,
camera.
you have to.
This is, I know, take Nick off the camera.
No, I like it. He's just
Look, it's quite simple. We know what type of performance you had last week against the Cleveland Browns. You got to be better. But this isn't even about you guys, really. Like, this is a game down in Dallas, and there's something that we all want to see. And the only way we can see what we really want to see is if you guys perform. Jerry kind of alluded to this. They hope they get out to a lead. Well, Packers offense, I need you guys to get out to a lead because we really want to see Micah. We really want to see Micah pin his ears back and get after Dak. We want to see it go down in that fashion. We want to see him point up to the box, looking at Jerry. The only way this happens is if we can see it early from you guys offensively. Jordan, be special. Don't turn the ball over. You know the drill. Running game, get it going. Matt LaFleur, be creative with your play calls. Let us see the fireworks early because what the entire football world wants to see for really the first time is a defensive guy just wreak havoc all day long. And in this case, I think it's Sunday night, right?
Yeah.
So all night long. Packers offense, I believe in you. Light up the scoreboard early because I just want to watch Micah go crazy.
I like that. Very, very good addition. Because if I'm the Cowboys, I'm trying to run as long as I can, right? They've been running the ball pretty well. Keep Mike off the field. But
Man,
yeah,
Micah's
if they
historically
get down,
just known to be just such an awful run defender.
run at him. They should
Right,
run
should
at
be
him.
Javonte Williams' game of his life. KW, what time is it?
4:12:33 on the East Coast, which means it's time, whether you like it or not.
I can't wait to hear
The
this.
Sports Media Ombudsman.
Thank you, Kevin Wilds, as I deliver the Sports Media Ombudsman while in the underdress box. I really do feel underdressed. There's a lot of pressure on me all of a sudden.
Just a
This is
smaller
a
box.
weird, I know, but it's
You're really
weird.
thrown off
It's
by
like when they do the player intros and instead of it being a picture, it's a moving, they're blinking and stuff. I don't know, it's throwing me off. Here's the deal. NFL media I fear is missing one of, if not the biggest story of this young season.
Oh.
So, Sunday afternoon, Eagles-Rams is going on. And if you were watching it closely, you noticed the Eagles were having a hell of a time dealing with the Rams kicking off. And because they kicked so many field goals and scored so much, you saw, oh, this is not a one-off. The Rams kicker is kicking a knuckleball that the Eagles just can't deal with. And they were consistently starting their drives inside the 20. If not, they didn't know what to do with it. And then thanks to this intrepid Twitter user, it confirmed what my eyes saw, which was the Rams and Carolina. That's average yards their opponent is starting on after kickoffs. So league average is like 32. The worst in the league, or is like 31, I should say. The worst is San Francisco. Up at the top, that tiny little bar, is the Panthers at 21 and the Rams at 21 and a half. It's like a 10-yard per drive difference. Mm-hmm. To which I say two things. One is credit where it's due to the NFL. Changing the kickoff rule has worked. Teams are returning kicks, and there is a real impact on not just giving up on it like they did last year. Last year, you got it on the 30, everyone's just kicking it into the end zone. This year, because it's the 35, there is a real benefit to having a real strategy and plan for this. But the bigger story is every team needs to be figuring out what the Rams and Panthers kickers are doing and copy it. Because the advantage of having teams start around the 20 versus the 35, if no team in the league would be like, okay, it's no big deal. By the way, every drive, we're going to commit a personal foul to start it and just give them 15 yards. Right. And so I actually think that is, I know it's like a simple stat. It's just yardage. It's not EPA or DVOA or a completion percentage over expected. But it's a very easily digestible piece of information that I think is really impacting games, and I think it's one of the biggest stories of the season thus far.
That's a good one.
Great job from the sports media ombudsman.
That was good.
Thank you, KW.
I like that. More attention to the Carolina Panthers.
At least to the Rams.
What about the Carolina Panthers?
Well, you know, I was trying to dig into the Panthers one, and then I realized they've had so few kickoffs, it's too small of a name to score.
Playing the Patriots. Vrabel was watching them for 2 hours.
That media ombudsman felt good, too. It was nice.
Yeah.
Like, usually somebody's going down in the sports media.
I had someone in mind, but Wilds told me I had to, quote, pull my punches this week.
Yeah. Comes into my shared office. It's going nuts.
I got it off my chest in Wilds' shared office. It would have been not good for anybody.
I'm putting team celebrations briefly on the Bud list. Now, look. I like a champagne celebration as much as the next guy. You know what I mean? The Seattle Mariners clinched their playoff spot. And we had it in Weird and Wonderful. Remember the guy who tore his Achilles?
Yeah.
He was running around. So this was Tuesday night. Remember? See, they got shirts on that say October Baseball because they are in. No, nobody got hurt. Okay. They're in the playoffs. That was Tuesday night. Now, Wednesday, because the Astros are on a bad losing streak, Seattle actually won the AL West. Wednesday night.
All right.
So let's fast forward to Wednesday. Now they have different shirts on that say division champs. They do it again. Same thing. They got the plastic cup. They got different shirts on. They got the same champagne. And no one, maybe I'm just the sour sport, but if it was Greg had a big birthday party on Tuesday night and then Nick was like, yeah, it's my birthday tonight. I'm like, sorry, dude. You should have comped those together like we did in elementary school. And I think the sports gods don't take kindly to this. And you should look around. You want to go celebrating early before the job is done? Let's suppose you're up 40-14 in the Super Bowl. Oh, let's dump some Gatorade. Wow. Well, next thing you know, boom, touchdown. Mariners, keep your eye on the ball, okay? You want to pop a few Bud Lights? Hey, we did a good job, but the job's not finished, Kobe style? Sure. But let Sirianni and the Eagles be a lesson. The game is not over.
I was going to support
the
you.
The team can still make a run, even though you're sitting there soaking wet.
Here, can I add something to yours?
Of course.
Here's the other thing. If they win the divisional round, they'll do it again. And they will, like, they have you.
They can also get the bye. They might even be able to celebrate without even playing.
It is the team that wins the World Series might end with 5 champagne celebrations. Playoff berth, division championship, division win, the 2 playoff rounds, and then the World Series.
And then the parade.
And then the parade.
What are we doing?
I mean, these guys' liver's going to be in trouble.
Come on. It's big champagne. We know what you're up to.
That was a good one.
It's too much. Have a Bud Light. Take it easy. Have a Modelo.
Or have Machado pour that Clase Azul in your mouth.
That was nice.
That's pretty good.
Coming up next, it's the J-Lo.
I don't know what we're doing.
Because Dusty kept on moving everything.
No,
you know
he
what?
didn't.
You don't know what's going on.
What's going on?
Hey, what's going on? I mean,
That's all he wants to do.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, what's up with that?
Hey, what's going on?
What's up with, what is it?
Hey, what?
Whoa! That was a bop! Ooh, let's keep the party going with the Claptrap Public Domain Serenade! Happy birthday to you! Let's all loot and shoot! Ba-ba-doo-doo! Borderlands 4! Well, that kind of fell apart toward the end. But you get the idea. Borderlands 4 is out now! Buy it! Buy it, buy it, buy it!
Rated M for mature.
Fox NFL this Sunday. The Eagles. Saquon Barkley. Jalen Hurts taking on the 3-0 Bucs. A little banged up. No Mike Evans. Still will be a great game. That's Sunday at 1. Then at 4. Ooh. Jags 49ers. Or the undefeated Colts with Greg Jennings' guy up against Matthew Stafford. Everybody's All-American. That's all day Sunday on Fox. Welcome back to the show. We have a no huddle here. A lot of stories, but no huddle. Packers are favored by a touchdown when Micah returns to Jerry World. Packers defense has been excellent. Cowboys defense been terrible. Here's the quote panel. Check this out. It's long. It's from The Athletic. Dallas's defensive issues aren't as simple as one player or even one area on the roster, okay? The defensive line isn't getting much pressure and the Cowboys aren't blitzing. On the back end, there's been continued communication issues and overall poor execution, leading to receivers often being far too open, you mentioned that, Brew, for the NFL level. Changes are needed, and they have to happen quickly. Do you think all of these issues guarantees that Jordan Love has a huge game?
Those issues plus that he's a very good quarterback.
He's your preseason MVP.
He was my preseason MVP. It's not looking great. He's still a shot, but it's early. Yeah, but he's But yeah, look, I think Jordan's going to go in there and have a big game. He hasn't thrown for 300. I know you did this with Rodgers, but he hasn't thrown for 300 yards since week 4 of last season.
Interesting.
So he now, of course, the last time he played the Cowboys, he was huge in that playoff game, threw almost 303 touchdowns. But yeah, the Cowboys have become like a QB stimulus package. You know, I mean, everybody's pick me up. That's what they are. I mean, Caleb struck. Is he improving? Is he not? 4 touchdowns, 142 passer rating. You know, Russell Wilson, who.
That's the worst one.
Yeah, I mean, we actually thought Russ might be back. Like, Russ looked great. 450 yards almost. So, yeah, I think Jordan is going to go in there. I think especially coming off
a bunch of yards against them because they played 3 games.
Oh my
God.
I forgot. No, I forgot.
It was a warm-up.
I'm sorry. It was.
He ran well.
Week
though.
1,
Week 1.
But you are right. They didn't.
Yeah,
it was the play call.
only one. Yeah.
But I think Jordan too, coming off the interception against Cleveland, is going to want to make amends. So yeah, I'm guaranteeing he's going to have a big game.
Yeah, I think J-Lo is going to – no, I don't do the J-Lo thing. Don't do that.
It's caught on. It's legit now.
No, it's gotten catchy.
You know what he is, too? He's going to be J-Go.
Oh, yeah.
Sunday, J-Go.
J-Go.
Jordan Love definitely is going to have a bounce-back game. And I would guarantee it. I'm not Brew, but I would guarantee a big game. Anytime you have a team that is struggling, you read their quote panel, everywhere on defense – they have too many holes to fill. those voids. And so when you look at an offense who's coming off a subpar game against a really great defense, and then you play a really poor defense that literally just doesn't have the personnel to stop you, you're going to try to exploit every area of that defense. And I believe that they will get their running game going, which then will allow Jordan Love to be established as a passer. Guys are going to be running open in this game. Jordan's going to have a big game. And guess who we'll see? Micah pinned his ears back.
So,
yes.
Listen.
Can't wait.
I'm willing to guarantee the Packers win this game. I'm willing to guarantee that the Packers look a lot better than they did against the Browns. I think it is incredible. It would be incredibly foolish for the Packers or for Jordan Love to have any part of the game plan be focused on him having a huge game. I think that the Packers, we have to look at the Packers right now as a team that when they are playing a team like Dallas, the only way they lose is if Jordan Love makes mistakes. And I think that Jordan Love right now, the goal needs to be as steady as can be. And if we end up in a game where a shootout is needed, I have that gear. But I'm not trying to put up crazy numbers. I'm not trying to, break that 300-yard streak because I don't think that is what best serves this team. I am so wildly impressed by this Packers defense through 3 weeks. I thought it was good going into the year, and then when they added Micah, I thought it could be great. And through 3 weeks, I do think it's great. I am retroactively more impressed by what they did week 1 against Detroit since we have seen Detroit in the 2 games they've played since then. I thought the Packers defense was unbelievable in week 2 against Jaden. I thought they were unbelievable or really, really, really good in week 3 against the Browns, as good as you can be against a less than mediocre Browns offense. I think the only thing that's going to trip up the Packers this year is if they try to make Jordan Love a star, is if they try to build explosive downfield passing when they don't need it. So no, I'm not willing to guarantee it because I don't think that's necessary. And I don't think it's what's best for the Packers given the overall strength of their roster.
Greg, can I read you something?
Nope.
The answer is no. The answer is no. Wow. Russell Wilson was asked about potentially asking for a trade or a release after being benched. Here's what he said.
I think for me personally, as well as I'm not done. I got so much belief in myself and know what I'm capable of. I believe I was able to show it, especially, on the road in Dallas.
Which team should call the Giants? He had if you listen to his full quote, he's actually I don't think we necessarily
did him justice.
Did right by he was like, I'm focused on the Giants, on how this team can get better. I think for the sake of brevity, we made a short quote, but he was actually a great team player.
So he's going to help Dart.
Yeah, it was the perfect quote from him that I want to put that on the record. So, which team should call the Giants? Nobody?
Yeah, no, nobody. Look, and I know you guys are going to have your team. No, it may. Look, when we look at what he was able to do against the Dallas Cowboys, because of how bad we believe that defense to be, we don't hold that next to anything. Because Caleb needed a game like that, and he's much younger, and he's a quarterback that needs to start to show that he can do that against a good defense or a bad defense, cool. Russell Wilson, to have that performance and then to follow it up with a performance against the Chiefs in the manner of which he did in that goal-to-goal situation, and just his inability to create any possible opportunity for his guys, who wants that? Who wants that? If I'm a receiver, we saw Malik Neighbors and his frustration, whether that was with Dable, whether that's because he's frustrated with the quarterback. No, if I am a team and I'm looking for a quarterback to back my quarterback up, cool. I'll take a veteran guy to come in here and show him the ropes and kind of help guide, but you're doing that right now with Jaxson Dart. If I'm a team that is potentially going to play for something, because he's not going to go somewhere where they're not playing for anything, I'm not looking at Russell Wilson as the answer because I don't believe that he has enough left to be the difference maker.
I agree with a lot of what you said. I mean, I get so frustrated, and you guys know I like Russ, but it's so predictable. It was the same thing in Pittsburgh, and it's the same thing with the Giants these few games. He can only throw the moon ball, and he's really just hurling that thing up there. Or it's just dink and dunk. There's no real intermediate stuff. And so I hear you. But if I'm the only team I can think of, and I look through all the teams, is Cincinnati. I thought Jake Browning was going to be better than this. What happened last week was just ridiculous. He was actually pretty good last year or 2 years ago. If he, maybe this 1 week, if he's horrible again,
I like that idea.
Why? I mean, you got 2 great receivers. If all Russ can do is throw the long ball still, or those are guys that can run after the catch as well, like Chase. So, I mean, I might look at it just to see if we can get in the playoffs and make something happen.
The Bengals are the team that makes sense, right? Because they're the team that is trying to win that has a quarterback get injured. Sadly, there's likely will be another team that fits that bill here in the next 6 weeks, right? There will probably be another team that wants to be a contender whose quarterback suffers a significant injury. It'd be unlikely that Burrow's the only quarterback that suffers a major injury. Whomever that team is, they still should not call the Giants.
You think that
I think Russell will. I think that the Seattle Seahawks had a great run with Russell Wilson. It then soured at the end. They moved on. The Denver Broncos trade for him. Year 1 with Nat Hackett, everyone blames Nat. Nat gets fired. Sean Payton saw 11 games of Russell Wilson and said, I will pay you to go away. Mike Tomlin brings in Russell Wilson. He can't start at the beginning of the year because of the injuries. Mike Tomlin sees 8 games of Russell Wilson, says, I'd rather bring back Justin Fields, and I don't want to bring you back, and I'll bring in Aaron Rodgers. Brian Dable signs Russell Wilson, sees 3 games of Russell Wilson, one of which was phenomenal, and is like, I'm done with you too. At some point, I think we have to come to the realization he is not better than your backup. He's not a starting quarterback in this league. So my answer is absolutely unequivocally none. And if I were a team that was desperate, like, oh man, I have to get an upgrade at quarterback midway through the season, and I called the Giants, I would ask about Jameis.
No question.
Before I asked about Russ. Flatly. And so I'm not trying to be, listen, he was a great player.
Yes.
And I know that I didn't like kind of his general disposition, so to speak, at times at the end. But I'm not trying to downplay the fact that of his era, he was, a top 8 quarterback, maybe a top 6 quarterback. I don't know it depends on what you define his era as. But it's over. And so no, I would not call him no matter who it was.
Tough one. Yikes. Why not?
Heartless.
Bengals in Denver. Browning versus Bo Nix. If Brew had his way, it'd be Russell Wilson. Revenge game. Bo Nix headlines NFL.com's Kevin Patras. 9 players he believes in despite slow starts.
Yeah.
Now, Bo has 5 touchdowns, but 4 turnovers. Wasn't great against the Titans to start. Indy had 3.
Was really good until he threw a back-breaking pick at the end.
Yep. And then the Chargers have a good defense, so you throw that one in the garbage. Nick, are you buying that Bo can turn this season around?
No, listen, I think Kevin Patra and others have a little, preconceived notion bias because a lot of people, I'm not saying Kevin necessarily, but a lot of people swore this Broncos team was legit contender. Bo Nix, was poised for a breakout. Sean Payton told us all of it. And the reality is that up to this point in his career, one thing is consistent about Bo Nix. If he is playing a good team, his team is cooked. And Bo Nix versus teams with a winning record. They are 1-10. He has an 86 rating. He has 14 touchdowns, 8 picks. He's 200 yards per game.
Does this like count the Colts? You like threw the Colt like the
well, so
1-0
it's so
Colts?
for no. So the way it's just for whatever it is. For last year, it's teams that finished the season with a winning record.
Gotcha.
And for this year, it's teams that currently, like the Chargers and Colts are 3-0. They count as winning teams. The Titans are 0-3.
Gotcha.
It's not your record at the time of playing them.
Okay.
It's at the end of the season or as far into the season. And it's not including the Week 18 game against Kansas City because that Chiefs team was not a winning team. It was the backups. I will never understand the smoke that was on this Broncos offense going into the year when we saw no evidence last year against good teams that they were good. And so I think it is, again, turn it around. Like, am I saying the Broncos are going to be looking for a quarterback this offseason? I'm not saying, that's not what I mean. But do I think all of a sudden Bo Nix is going to rally and be a difference maker at that position in the AFC playoff race? Unequivocally no. And I'm puzzled how many people thought going into the year he would be.
I was one of those that thought at the beginning of the year that he would be, and I still think he can turn it around. He's playing some poor football right now. Let's just face it. It is what it is. And I don't think, again, I loved what Sean Payton was saying about him. Is leading
You did or didn't?
I did.
Okay.
I did because you were kind of stroking the ego, kind of pumping your team up and your quarterback. It may have been too much. It may have been too much. And I think when you are in that type of a situation and you have that type of a season that he did as a rookie, the last thing, kind of like CJ, we all were high on CJ. Everybody's high on CJ, not necessarily his team, but they kind of showed us how high they were by what they acquired in the offseason, saying, you know, we're going to support this guy because he can get us to the promised land. When you do those types of things, you got to be right. And Bo Nix, to your point, those numbers suggest that he's good enough until he isn't, until he meets somebody that's better or a team that's better. And so he just has to learn how to effectively process things and get the ball to the open guy.
Just be a game manager. Be what you were drafted to be. That's the part that's why I've compared him to Mac Jones. But it's frustrating. Don't be what Sean Payton swore to the world you were. Be what everyone else in the NFL world thought you were going to be, which is a game manager. Because the defense is great, and Sean Payton's a good play caller. Like, just be a game manager.
Well, that's why I think he can turn it around. And I'm not saying he's going to be all pro, look like a Hall of Fame or anything like that, but I think he can turn it around. I'm sure Payton and the coaching staff are reinforcing that. Look, just don't make the big mistakes. Our defense is phenomenal, as you said. We can score enough points with you just managing the game, being on time, so on and so forth. And I think he can do that. You can dial it back. He clearly has come out and tried to maybe live up to the hype, but now you just dial it back. And remember, he started badly last year. I get it. It's not the same thing, but he started poorly last year and came on strong. We'll know soon because they got Cincinnati, obviously. Philly will be tough. And then you got the 2 New York teams.
Yep.
Giants, Giants, and
he'll
Jets.
beat those teams.
So those are kind of get some confidence games, and then you'll be back over 500 presumably. Look, you got the Cowboys after that too.
I kind of like that.
The Raiders are there.
Like
they got some
upset alert for upset alert this week. That's a 10.5 pointer.
Ooh, very
10.5.
Well, they're 7.5 point dogs.
Oh,
and you get the 3 points.
Did Caleb turn a corner? And our first look at Kevin Durant in the Rockets uniform, dribbling the ball.
You don't technically need this car. You say that out loud to yourself. You say, I have no space. You say, I'm just looking. Then you click. Then you zoom in on photo number 87 and whisper, oh no. Then you text a friend, the one who always enables you. You say to yourself, this is the last one, knowing it is not. You don't need this car. But maybe, just maybe, this car needs you. Bring a trailer. It's never just a car.
Tomorrow, it's the hottest segment in all of sports. It's Upset Alert. What's the scoring? I wasn't here last Friday. Where are we at?
You were here. Oh, no, you weren't. Coach and Greg have 18.
18?
You have 1, and Brew has 0.
I feel like the scoring is off.
Well, you gotta hit a pick. You gotta hit a pick. Meanwhile, Nick's picks was 2-1 and is taking the lead on Danny Parkins.
Really? Congratulations.
Thank you.
Saturday, baseball. Nope, Credible. Sorry. Now entering the no bull zone. Sponsored by Credible. Great rates, another bull. Seahawks Cardinals tonight. It's a battle between a pair of 2-1 teams in the NFC West. Darnold versus Kyler. Seahawks are actually favored. Here's how the quarterbacks have fared. Who has more to prove?
Those numbers aren't.
Hold on. First of all, KW, if I may, up your energy a bit, and second of all, give this game its proper billing.
One thing in the show, I've been lost the whole show.
That's fine. That's fine. But look, KW, we have the first things first bowl. This is the Kevin Wildes Bowl. Seahawks Cardinals. Your guy Sam Darnold against your previous guy Kyler Murray, one of your Super Bowl picks. It's the Kevin Wildes Bowl tonight. I'm telling you, it's not fair for the first things first bowl to just get all. This is like a good little amuse-bouche to get you ready for the first things first bowl.
They're both
Ravens versus.
Well, these are the guys we've had. Everybody makes choices.
You are a huge Darnold guy.
You're the Darnold guy in the media. Let me ask you this: if you ask sports TV fans, like, hey, who's the Patrick Mahomes guy? Do you think I'm going to get the most votes? I do.
Probably.
If you ask them, hey, who's the Lamar Jackson guy? There's going to be a lot of people that get votes, but who's going to get the most? If you ask people, who in national TV is the Darnold guy? Is there going to be any name said other than yours?
None.
No.
This is actually a game about defense.
He's going to give real analysis. Yes, let's do it.
Second best defense with Mike McDonald all of a sudden. Come over from the Ravens, brought maybe a little bit of that Ravens
They
DNA.
do actually have a decent defense.
And then the Cardinals defense were like, hey, is Gannon going to turn that around?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're fifth best defense. So I know we're talking about the quarterbacks because I like both of these quarterbacks, but it's actually a defensive game. That being said, I've got Seahawks.
I think that's the right pick.
Thank you.
I agree it's the right pick, but also this is how I know this is the Kevin Wildes Bowl.
Why?
Because you were ready with real analysis.
I'm ready.
You were ready to go. You're talking about their defensive rankings, talking about the Seahawks. You showed us a cool full screen. You are dialed in. I will say this: whoever wins this game has to be taken seriously as a playoff team. At least for the time being.
Arizona
it doesn't feel like they should
I
be.
think are real.
But 3-1.
3-1, you get there.
Yeah. And both of their losses are last second to the Niners.
Yep. Maybe it's Darnold. First things first, overtime.
What are you looking forward to about going over to Ireland this year?
Guinness. Guinness on tap is my favorite beer in the world. And I don't really drink beer.
You would say the team that drinks together, wins together.
Yeah.
Have you tried to incorporate that more?
I'm not going to tell you that.
I have never heard that.
The team that drinks together wins
That's
together?
a thing?
I don't know.
I just feel like that was just posited, and Aaron Rodgers has to be like, no.
We tried to do that in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Together, and it was just you and me.
We were there. Yeah, what's up with that?
Yeah, two of the four.
I didn't know about the party till late.
Yeah.
So y'all, I just found out.
I'll own that.
Can I
big time.
add something to this real quick?
Please.
I had never liked Guinness, ever. And I went to Hubs' wedding, our executive producer, who married a wonderful Irish girl in Dublin, had Guinness in Ireland, drastically different than the Guinness here. Excellent. And then I had talked to them about it. They're like, oh yeah, there's like regulations and laws about how often you clean the taps and how far it is from the keg. And the bartenders were saying the Guinness in the U.S., no good, but in Ireland.
I think it is good here.
Since then I've liked it here. But there, it was like a different drink. So that I'm with Rodgers on. I found something to agree with
I feel that way
Aaron
about Heineken in Europe.
Well, it's fresher, sure. It's closer to the source. But Guinness off tap in Ireland.
Hey, Budweiser in
10 out
St.
of
Louis.
10. Yeah.
Oh, St. Louis, Kansas City.
Can't
started in that rivalry.
Can't have it.
We're starting the show today. Ravens are in Arrowhead. Lamar only has one win against Patrick Mahomes. He's got 5 losses. But that's all in the past, according to Lamar. Take a listen.
Well, you can't bring what happened back whenever when, to this year. We just got to lock in on what's ahead right now, just getting better in practice, watch film on those guys, watch ourselves, self-scout ourselves, just get after it come Sunday.
Danny, who needs this win more?
1,000% objectively, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Wow.
Someone.
You guys, I've been listening to you guys talk about this, and you're talking about like the belief that the Ravens need to have against the Chiefs if they get them in January, or you're talking about like the championship pedigree of the Chiefs so that if they lose, we know they will be fine. If the Ravens lose this game, everyone in the world will still think they're going to win the AFC North because of the teams in front of them, and that means if you win the division, you host the playoff game. If the Chiefs lose this game, and they are 3 back of the Chargers in the loss column, assuming the Chargers beat the Giants, and effectively 4 back with the tiebreaker, we will be talking about the Chiefs as a wild card team or missing the playoffs.
Or missing the playoffs.
Yeah, well, so here's the thing. Right now, Nick and I know this. We gamble on sports all the time, and sometimes I do color my analysis through what the market says. Odds to make the playoffs today, before this game has even happened. The Chiefs are a 2-1 favorite to make the playoffs. The Ravens are a 12-1 favorite to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Meaning, this game objectively means more for the Chiefs. Because if the Ravens...
Based on that, I mean, I know y'all in all, I couldn't care less about those odds as far as any odds that are going to tell me if the Chiefs lose, which obviously I hope happens, that they're not going to make the playoffs.
They will be a coin flip to make the playoffs if they lose this game.
They can be a coin flip, but do you actually think that is legitimate?
Yes.
No, okay, so all right, well then,
yes.
As you would say, we can book that. Second of all, they won't be a coin flip to make it. If there might, we
They'll
don't
be
need,
like -140.
So hold on. I agree with you that the Ravens can lose and still be alive to win their division.
Yes.
And if the Chiefs lose, they are on life support to win the division. I totally agree with that.
So doesn't that objectively make the game bigger for the Chiefs?
No, because neither one of these teams care about winning a division. Either one of these teams care about is winning a Super Bowl. And what I think is bananas, from you and from the vast majority of media, honestly, outside of me and Brew, is a total double standard for Baltimore. This idea that Baltimore's dead last defense, which, by the way, how many teams in the history of the league have won a Super Bowl after allowing 40 in week 1? 0. How many teams have won a Super Bowl in the last 30 years with a below average, much less dead last defense? 1. That'll just be fine.
But you don't believe that the Ravens are a dead last defense.
No, well, I saw them be a dead last defense for 10 weeks last year. I saw him be a dead last defense for 3 weeks this year. I saw the Chiefs' offensive struggles have players coming back. Justin Madubuike, or Nnamdi Madubuike, pardon me, we don't know. That's a scary one where Harbaugh won't even talk about it. I think there's real concern. Sadly, his season could be over. And this bizarro idea that Baltimore, that it's just happenstance, that Baltimore doesn't beat the Chiefs and doesn't play the best in the postseason, and eventually that'll change. But if when Baltimore is, at the moment, the better team than Kansas City, the quarterback's playing better. You said on Monday that Baltimore plus or -2.5 was an early bet you loved. They lose this game, but no, don't worry. You play in January and they're going to feel great about it. I don't understand it. And it is...
If they played in January and they won their division and had a home game, they would feel better than Mahomes as a wild card.
Why? Why?
We've never seen the Chiefs as a wild card.
And we had never seen the Chiefs go on the road until they went to Baltimore and beat them. We've seen the Chiefs win in the AFC playoffs against every single person that is going to be in the AFC playoffs. We've never seen Lamar beat one of his contemporaries in the playoffs.
Weird, that we're in week 4 and you're already there's some benchmarks for the Chiefs, and you're already conceding the ground of the AFC West, where we
If they go 1-4 and the Chargers are 4-0,
that's what I'm saying. That benchmark is done.
No,
they're all right. Maybe they do it, but it would be a tough climb. But it feels like you are willing to concede.
I think the Chiefs are going to win this weekend. I am willing to concede that if the Chargers are 4-0 and the Chiefs are 1-3, that it would be incredibly unlikely for the Chiefs to win the division. Yes, I do think that is true. That is objectively true. But what I don't understand is this, and no one has explained it to me yet, and the closest I've heard from you is I just think offense is more important than defense, is why The Chiefs' mediocre offense at 1-2 is cause for concern more than the Ravens' horrific defense at 1-2, especially when you blend into it. The Chiefs had a decidedly mediocre offense last season and made the Super Bowl, and a slightly better than mediocre defense the season before and won the Super Bowl. No one has squared that circle to me other than the Ravens are more exciting to watch, and therefore we believe in them more. That's what I would say, because Brew's the biggest Ravens fan I know, and he thinks that Ravens need this win more.
Yeah, and I'm not as concerned as you about the Ravens defense. Like, I do think that'll get better. Whether it can get top 10-ish, they might not get there, but I definitely think it'll become much better. So I don't have those concerns. But yeah, Danny, I mean, you're right about the division. Like Nick said, I agree with you on that. But for these teams, yeah, you want to win the division. That's the first goal you have every year is, first win the division. But they are both S-Bob. And I do think, like, the Ravens, if they don't win this week, Lamar will be 1-6 against the Chiefs. The Chiefs are down. They haven't been playing that well. They are banged up a bit, as are the Ravens. But the Ravens look like the better team right now. And if they go in there and still can't beat the Chiefs, it was heartbreak last year, right, with Isaiah Likely and the toe. It was heartbreak 2 years ago when, again, it seemed like everything was in favor of the Ravens. I just think they need – and the Chiefs have been through so much that I don't think mentally they're going to be shaken at all. So I definitely think the Ravens need it more.
You don't think the Chiefs are going to be shaken if they're 1-3?
They will have lost to 3 of the top teams in the league. Now, they won't like it, but we've seen them come back from, even last year they didn't look Super Bowl bound. They got there. 2 years ago when they were 11-6,
they lost
they
5 out of 8
Bowl.
in the last year or 2 years ago. They lost on Christmas, and it was the mortifying loss. And the Raiders had the Mahomes blueprint, and they were the least dangerous team in the playoffs. Like they didn't think that. So again, could they be wrong? But you're asking, will their faith be shaken?
From what I've seen, and I can't get into their heads, but to see Chris Jones kind of fired up on the sidelines, he wasn't talking about tush push, about the Eagles. They've run the same thing over and over, and we can't stop it. That felt like a level of frustration. The fact that Mahomes is running so much, which he used to only do in the playoffs, and trying to hit guys to give the team a spark as he.
But they didn't.
I think it's that
he didn't run last week.
Oh, no, he didn't run last week playing the Giants.
I don't
think.
But
in general, and then Travis Kelce, actively frustrated,
But we have different outlooks on the whole.
But those are the 3 pillars of the team.
And what are Lamar and Derrick? This is my point. What's Lamar, Derrick Henry, and John Harbaugh? Have those guys? This is my frustration.
Lamar's playing out of his mind. Lamar leads the league in yards per pass, touchdowns, and passes.
Hold on, but you weren't right there. To be fair, you weren't talking about stats. You were talking about emotions. And if we're talking about emotions and seeming tight, Lamar seemed oddly vexed week 1 at the end of the game, and then in week 3. Derrick Henry flipped out on the sideline, and John Harbaugh gets a little tight in these games.
Sure.
So, if we're going to play the body language or that game, the Chiefs absolutely right now are pressed. They're frustrated, all those things. My question is, what has Baltimore done to earn the benefit of the doubt that everyone's giving them but me?
It is a product of their opponents. I'm not sitting here talking about body language or vibes or
because I think you can't read I'm not into that.
Lamar has never been 1-3. Mahomes has never been 1-3. A team hasn't made it to the Super Bowl starting 1-3 since the 0-1 Patriots. So this will be uncharted territory for whoever loses this game on Monday, and history will be against whoever loses for S-Bob will be against it. All I am saying is, having watched the rest of the NFL, it is not just a product of more faith in Baltimore over Kansas City, because, by the way, I absolutely will still think on Monday that the Chiefs, even if they lose the game, will make the playoffs. But I'll think it. I'll know the Ravens will make the playoffs if they lose the game because of Cincinnati, because of Pittsburgh, because of the path that the Ravens have to get there.
So I just want to make sure I understand.
Sure.
You at 1-3, you are 100% confident they're winning their division?
That the Ravens will make the playoffs.
Well, hold on. You were saying the path. It's the winning the division.
You feel like they're going to win the division too.
No, listen. I think they will. I think that I think the weird bar of, because like the winning the AFC West is going to be harder, that adding faith or not faith to the Chiefs when we are talking. I don't think either one of these teams has to win their division. I don't think either one of these teams has to get the 1 seed. I think both of these teams feel like because of Burrow's injury and because of whatever the hell happened to the Texans and because it looks like the Broncos aren't the team people thought they were going to be, that both of these teams could play mediocre for 15 weeks and back into the playoffs at 9-8 and be a hell of a team, a bummer of a team to play.
I completely agree with that. But do you not agree that if the Chiefs lose, they are more in danger of missing the playoffs than if the Ravens lose?
I absolutely disagree with that.
Okay. Well, that's
I
that's
vehemently
the
disagree with that.
That's the fundamental disagreement then.
While I was with you, I agree that if the Chiefs lose, and depending on if it's bad, it really looks bad, they just might not be as good anymore, but I don't think mentally they're going to have any problems. I think they're still going to believe.
I'm only saying, I'm not trying to be like Mr. body language expert. The guys have, Travis Kelce said, I'm frustrated.
No, I think, but I don't think that means that's the worst thing in the world. You should be frustrated.
You're pushing your,
is that
you and your coach are having a physical
again,
well, they did that in the Super Bowl.
How is that different than what Derrick Henry said? That's my question. How is that different than what Lamar
frustrated,
said? How is like that? That's
frustrated.
Derrick Henry fumbled the ball.
And then talked about how much it bothered him.
He's in a very bad spot.
Right, okay.
I totally agree. But Patrick Mahomes is playing a different style of football that he only does when it's like, gotta have it moments. He's decided to run the ball to start, he's the rushing attack and hitting guys. We haven't seen that. So it feels like there's an element of press that is being exhibited in his play. That's what I think is weird. Like Travis Kelce, I don't see him pressing during the games. He drops the ball. I see him, getting mad on the sidelines. But Mahomes is actually playing differently. Now, the way he plays differently manifests in more aggressiveness running and physical play, where Lamar kind of just will throw the ball, sometimes just drop the ball and throw it to the wrong teams. But, Danny, I'm Mahomes guy. So just saying.
More on this game in front of me
again,
a little bit.
A prime textbook example of Chiefs-Ravens, two dominant teams, 1-3. Hey, what's going on? We're just trying to figure out. We spent 15 minutes. We don't know. We can't figure this out.
You let that bait for 15 minutes.
But it's true. It is.
You were waiting for that.
It is a textbook.
When it was the perfect moment.
What's going on? Eagles, Bucs. These teams are both 3-0.
What's going on?
Jalen Hurts talked about the game plan, what it might be and what it's not. Take a listen.
Hope isn't a game plan, and worry and fear isn't a game plan either. And so going out there and truly feeling confident in having an answer versus anything that they do, that's always, what you're striving for. Everybody wants to have that sense of security in what we're doing. And then you have times where, they kind of get you. And that's a part of the game, and you learn from it, and you build from that.
If you thought that my body language expertise was a bit too far, wait till I debut my "What is Jalen trying to tell me about his jewelry choices?" I've been working on that. He wears different stuff to convey different messages. What do you need to see from in this game?
I'd like to see Jalen Hurts continue what he did in the second half last week.
Correct.
And Tampa is 3-0. But very easily could be 0-3.
Yes.
Again, that's not to take anything away from
that's the same with Philly, right? Philly pretty easily could be. I mean, again, I don't think either team. I don't think either team actually could be 0-3.
Right.
But either team could have lost a game or two
Philly's
along the way.
played far better competition, though.
Yes. I've got a great stat from Josh.
The last minute go-ahead drives for Tampa is different than Philly, especially in that game against Dallas.
Want to hear my great stat from Josh? I'll read it verbatim. First game ever between 3-0 teams that each won all 3 games by 1 score.
There you go.
Oh,
yeah,
wow. There you go. That's a fun one.
Well done, Josh.
Incredible.
Good job, Josh.
Historic.
But I would just, whatever Philly's offense is going to be, I feel like for style points, I know they will say it's all about winning. Just win. It doesn't matter. But when you have all of the pieces, you were talking about earlier in the show, like the last time they lost to Tampa,
Yep.
they didn't have Devontae Smith or A.J. Brown in that game. Like, that game doesn't feel terribly relevant if those guys aren't there. But with their offense struggling now, I'd like to see Jalen Hurts do better than Michael Penix did against this defense. Like, here's what the quarterbacks have done against Tampa, because Tampa's defense is ranked pretty well, and none of it's that impressive. None of that feels like it's terribly unattainable. But I would like to see Jalen Hurts.
You need Jalen to throw for 300? I don't know that he's throwing for 300, bro.
I don't need him to, but in terms of, let's not see the passing game start when they're down 19.
Well, they better not be down 19.
Sure.
Really
well, so throw it earlier in the game. Don't just play so conservative where you have to use it at the very end.
I agree. Like, I would like to see them throw more, throw downfield more. But to me, just win this game.
Well, that's Philly's whole mantra.
It's particularly this game, though, and obviously you're right, the receivers weren't there. But still, you've lost to Tampa the last 2 times. I just think you want to send a message to the Bucs, like, look, you don't have anything on us. We treat you like we treat everybody else. So just win this game. I don't think this is the week to experiment. I agree they should do that, more. But this week, just get the W.
So I don't think Philly should feel like they had a good game plan last week. I think the team, that was a great win. I think that the Eagles organization should feel awesome.
Yep.
I think Jalen and AJ should feel great about how they rallied. I think Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, should feel awesome. And Sirianni maybe should even be like, man, even though we did fumble the ball right after halftime, I'm going to say I gave a great halftime speech because right after that we rallied. But Kevin Patullo and that offensive game plan, the opening script, all of that, that's the one part of like their week 3 grade that I would say, yeah, you failed. What you thought would work offensively resoundingly, historically didn't. Where you're at Gillette and you see the flash that says they have 1 yard and we're midway through the second quarter.
Minus 1 passing yard.
Right.
It's not enough.
And so
Not good.
I am not discrediting the win, but as like this is a Coach Mangini staple. Do not ignore in victory what you would not ignore in defeat.
Okay, Jalen Hurts is.
And again, I want to make it very clear. I'm not trying to play the what if game like, oh, they should be this record. But I do think if I'm Kevin Patullo, I am trying to ask myself, if Jordan Davis doesn't block that and we lose that game, am I saying I did us wrong by how conservative I was early? So I agree with Danny 100%. I think they should have a concerted effort to put on film, we will open the game with 7 straight passes if we want to.
That'd be nice.
You know what I mean? We can do that because I also think, Brew, that'll help Saquon. Right now, I think teams are acting like they don't have star receivers because they might as well not because they're not throwing it to them early. So that's I think what's smarter for Philadelphia to do that in this spot.
The last time there was a lot of like this much hubbub, it was
the
going
Steelers
into that Steelers game. So they did respond a little bit to the media pressure.
Well, that was internal. I mean, that was different because
that was
A.J. Brown.
But Jalen blamed the media.
Yeah, I know. If people forget, A.J. Brown was like, passing offense needs to be better. Then Brandon Graham went on local radio and was like, man, those guys used to be friends. I don't know what happened. And then Jalen Hurts came out and was like, is this what you guys wanted?
Just sit down. Drew Brees, that's what you wanted to say. That's all the media. Coming up next, the friendliest / meanest segment in all of sports. It's Frenemies.
Danny lost last week.
I did?
Is it scored?
Between us.
He won the first week. I won the second week.
Or Chiefs-Ravens.
Yeah, I mean, he said the Giants, I think he guaranteed a Giants win.
I did not.
I think he did.
Once you are attacked.
Back in this time every week, it's Frenemies. Danny and Nick here. I feel like we just were talking about this and upset you a little bit. Which
it didn't upset me. I'll tell you what upset me.
Okay, here we go.
I root for the show to be good. I root for my friends to be smart and correct. and your take was just so bad that it worried me. I was like, we're going over. Like, the show is not good, and my friend is wrong.
I feel like my take was like objectively correct.
Yeah, of course. No, it makes a ton of sense that 2 1-2 teams playing one who goes to every Super Bowl and wins half of them, and one who hasn't gone to any and wins none of them. That team has more of a margin of error. We don't have to relitigate.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know that the history was
We don't have to make frenemies as bad as that last segment because of a bad take.
All right, fine. Well, here is Patrick Mahomes on the need for a high-scoring offense this week against Baltimore, because they are 2.5-point favorites. They might need to get into a shootout here. Here's Patrick on the offense. Take a listen.
We got to start faster. I think every game we've kind of said that we haven't really got to do that. And we were moving the ball early in the game last week, but we're settling with field goals. And when you play teams that are really good and have dynamic quarterbacks like the Ravens do, you got to turn those into touchdowns.
Are you confident, Nick, that your squad's ready to win a shootout if necessary?
Yeah, if they need to, yes. I don't think the Ravens' defense is good, and you pulled out some fugazi stat the other day about
facts and numbers.
But it's like arbitrary endpoints. Like you pulled out some. It's been, I don't know, since like November of 2023. I thought it was
400 yards, 30 points.
Well, it was right. It was
one.
more than 30 points, and I was like, wait. They scored 32 in the AFC Championship game, but you added the 400-yard qualifier as if that matters at all.
An explosive offense.
And so, like,
how does it not matter?
Listen, I think that with Xavier Worthy coming back, with, I think, the Chiefs' offense, to Patrick's point, moving the ball last week but settling for field goals, I also think with the Ravens are going to have a really hard time rushing the passer in this game, that if they need an explosive offense, they'll get one. I don't think that's what this game's going to be. I think this game is more likely to be, I think it will be more similar to the AFC Championship game, which was a defensive battle. I don't think it'll be that, than to Bills-Ravens Week 1, which I know everybody looks at Bills-Ravens Week 1, and because everyone is just so warped by all that matters in the NFL is offense, even though that's objectively not true, those are two amazing teams as opposed to two amazing offenses with potentially problematic defenses. I don't think it's going to look like that.
Well, listen, the Chiefs became this dynasty because of great offenses, right?
But they won their championships because they finally had good defenses.
So you're a defense wins championships guy?
I am certainly you are not going to play deep into January with a bad defense guy.
I trust at this point in the season. This is not January. It is not cold.
100%.
It is a regular season game, right?
Agreed.
So so far from what I've seen with my eyes watching the games, I trust Baltimore's offense more than I trust anything on Kansas City. And in that spot, I think your team's in a little bit of danger of getting blown out. And that rarely happens, but listen, Nick,
they don't get blown. They got blown out in the Super Bowl.
Well, I put together a list for you.
Okay, sure. I'd love it.
Of Mahomes blowouts. And I'm just wondering where you think this game is going to fall in on this graphic.
So where's the other ones?
What do you mean?
Oh, that's all of them.
Yeah, it's all of them.
He's in this is his 9th year in the league.
Those are the 5 worst.
This is, no. You got them all. Those are the 5 games he's lost by more than 10 points. It's not sorted in any particular order. It's the whole list of, it's, I guess, biggest to least. But I'm saying, that's all of them. That's every game he's lost.
Correct.
By more than, I think, 9 points, certainly more than 10. And so what you are going to notice on that list is 3 of those came in a 7-week cluster. It was or 7-game cluster. The end of 2020 and the beginning of 2021. The idea, and one of them's the weirdest game ever, that 2023 game against the Broncos. That is the weirdest. That was a horrific Broncos team. That Chiefs team was in the midst of winning another Super Bowl. That was a weird one. I can't believe you think the Chiefs can get blown out.
Here's the reason, dude. The last time the Ravens scored 24 or less was 10 games ago, Week 13 against the Eagles, before their bye last year. The Chiefs haven't scored 25 or more the 3 games this year or the 3 in the playoff games last year. They are not currently...
Hold on, that's not true. They scored 32 in the AFC Championship game. The 3 games leading into the playoffs, they did.
Yeah, that's correct. Correct. Yeah, so I look at it as right now, Baltimore... I trust what they are able to do offensively. And you, a week ago, before they played the Giants, had concerns about the Chiefs' defense.
Yeah.
So I don't think that all of a sudden playing Russell Wilson solves the concerns of the Chiefs' defense.
This is what I think. And this is what it's not going to be able to be translated via any advanced stat or EPA or DVOA or anything like that. I'm just saying in general. I believe there is a skill to forcing games to be played on your terms. And I think the Chiefs have been brilliant across this 7 years of the games fit the personality of the team that they are. When they wanted to be high flying, it oddly made other teams who weren't high flying, you know what I mean? Fast possessions, high flying. And the last few years, when they have not been able to be explosive, they grind the games to a halt.
9 possession games,
which is what they did against Baltimore in the AFC Championship game, which is what they force a game to be played on their terms, which makes them almost unblowoutable. When they did get blown out in the Super Bowl, it was not because the defense fell apart. That was on the offense and Patrick's mistakes and those things. And so it's why the Chiefs are so, and I know it's weird to say it 1-2, but hard to beat because they can play as poorly as imaginable against a really good team like the Chargers in Week 1 and be a 3rd and 14 stop away from have a chance to steal the game. They can play as poorly as they did for the first half in Philadelphia in Week 2 and still be right there on the precipice of taking the lead. And the flip side is a team like Baltimore that can play so great for 55 minutes
be up 2 scores
and then invent a loss. And so that's the difference to me from like a football fun character of these two teams. So I think a blowout is an impossibility. I think a blowout is an impossibility. And
you want to go 3 straight 0% chancers?
Well, last week you were trying to sell me the bill of goods that the Russell Wilson might outplay Patrick Mahomes, and he lost his job because of how he played. That's what happened.
That is true. I am just surprised in your faith in this year's Chiefs offense. Because I hear a lot of championship pedigree, what they've done in the playoffs in years past, and maybe with Worthy back and eventually Rashee Rice back, because I absolutely trust Mahomes and Andy Reid to figure it out in the long run, in the aggregate. I just have not seen their offense, their running game, the left side of their offensive line, their big playability. I have not seen this Chiefs offense look good.
Right. No, you've seen them. This is the fundamental breakdown. You've seen them look mediocre, and it's enough to panic. All you've seen the Ravens defense be is the worst in football, and it's like, who cares?
But their offense has been the best.
Right. So
and neither part of the Chiefs have been elite.
They have been a good defense and a mediocre offense is what they've been.
And the Ravens defense was bad against the Bills and the Lions, who are going to be 2 top 5 offenses at the end of the year.
Ravens defense was also not good against the Browns when the Browns threw for more yards, ran for more yards, had the ball longer, got more third downs. Sure. The Browns are the Browns and got a pump blocked and fumbled and turned it over. All those things. I am not arguing that this Chiefs offense is elite or is going to be elite just by getting Xavier Worthy back. What I am arguing is that to act as if they have been awful is backed up by nothing, and to ignore the fact that Baltimore has been is bananas to me. And it is not just you, it has been shocking this week to see the pretzels people are twisting themselves into to explain why the 1-2 Baltimore Ravens, who have never won anything, worrying about them would be crazy. And the 1-2 Kansas City Chiefs, who have won everything, that it's panic time. The only team to have this type of run of success is the Patriots from 11 to 18, when they made 8 straight conference championship games. 4 of those 8 years, the Patriots started 2-2. Like, maybe it's not that weird for a team in the midst of this to have a rough September, even though it's weird for the Chiefs. And so now we're asking these weird questions like, can Mahomes outplay Lamar? He literally has every time they've played. Can the Chiefs win in a shootout? They've won more of those than any team in the league over the last decade. Now, they haven't for 3 weeks. That is true.
They haven't been in shootouts in a couple of years.
Oh, the AFC Championship game against a pretty good team. They won a shootout. They won 32-29 to go to their 3rd straight Super Bowl, but that was 5 games ago.
That's a long time.
That's 5 games ago.
That's a long time. All right.
That's 2-1 me.
2-1 you? The game hasn't happened yet.
Everybody knows.
Wow. Back here on First Things First, the Cowboys hosting the Packers Sunday night. Micah Parsons makes his long-anticipated return to Dallas. Here's the All-Pro on his homecoming. Take a listen.
There's a lot of things I can consider disrespectful throughout this process, but I wouldn't say the tribute is one of them. I would say, I just think, there's hard feelings maybe there for them, but, for me, I'm happy where I'm at. And we got a really good football team, so I guess I can give you my tribute and a win, I hope.
Danny Parkins, Greg Jennings, and Teron Armstead making his First Things First debut. 12-year pro, 5-time Pro Bowler for the Dolphins and the Saints. Welcome. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you, guys.
What do you think the Packers can prove on Sunday against the Cowboys?
The Packers cannot wait to make a statement after the upset loss to Cleveland, but I think this is more so for Jordan Love and what he can prove to the football world, that he's the one question mark on that Green Bay Packers team. Everything else is covered. They have the weapons, they have the defense, but his inconsistency is the one thing that can hold them back from getting to the big dance. We've seen it time and time again with him being able to execute, put up points, but we get a game against a tough defense, he stalls. He's not able to move the ball, execute, and put up the points. So we really want to see that from Jordan Love, him take that next step to be able to create when it's not necessarily something in the timing of the offense. That's what we want to see from him.
And the Cowboys are not a tough defense.
I was just going to say, well, good thing they're not playing a tough defense. So we cool there. Look, man, I have the same questions about Jordan Love, like the inconsistencies and all the things. But can we give Jordan a break? Can we cut him a little bit of slack? He threw 1 pick.
It was a bad pick.
It was a bad pick. Okay, yes. Move on. You're playing the Cowboys. Everyone eats. Taryn, you know this. You turn on the film, and there are some games where you're watching the film, and you see opportunities everywhere, whether it's in pass setting, run blocking, whether it's defensive holes in the secondary. And I'm looking like, this can't be real, because if they do this on Sunday, we gonna eat.
Yeah.
That's what the Packers are looking at. They're going to establish their run. This is what they want to do. And then allow Jordan to get that play action going and get the guys open with that. It's not about let's see Jordan do this initially and then open it up for everybody else. No, that's not how they want to run their offense. They don't need to. They're playing the down in the slums of a defense in the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, so then I don't know if players think about it like this, but like when the Bears played the Cowboys, it was like, please be good, because the Bears haven't proven that they can be good, and then they bum slayed the Cowboys, right? The Packers, it feels like it would be all downside for them, because like if the Packers are supposed to blow out Dallas. And so if Micah doesn't eat, if Jordan Love does struggle, it's like alarm bells type of situation because Green Bay is in a different weight class.
Green Bay is excited to make a statement. After the upset loss to Cleveland, they cannot wait to get that bad taste out of their mouth.
Mm-hmm.
We know we're judged on our last performance. Their last performance, a loss to Joe Flacco and the Cleveland Browns. So for the Packers going into Dallas, it should be one-sided. I anticipate that. I think Micah Parsons will be playing like a man with his hair on fire. There'll be steam coming from his helmet as he's in his stance. He wants to sack Dallas, not necessarily Dak, but he wants to show and prove to Dallas that they made the wrong decision.
Yeah, for me, it's one of them things where, yes, you expect to win, and yes, there is a little downside because we in the media are going to look like, well, they didn't do what the Giants were able to do. They didn't do what the Bears were able to do offensively. Oh, it has to be Jordan Love. But every week presents a different opportunity for defense to improve, for offense to improve, for defense to get worse, for offense to get worse or not perform. And so I don't think the expectation, to your point, is that the Packers is going to be, let's just get a win. It's going to be, let's make it look good on tape.
You think if Micah sacks Dak, he does shows the money?
No.
You think he points to Jerry? You got to point to Jerry, right? Yeah, I think that'd be good. News right here in New York yesterday. Jaxson Dart named the starter for the Giants. They've got the Chargers on Sunday. Here's Jim Harbaugh on the opposing quarterback, and then Dart himself on the challenge. Take a listen.
All the good things. He's got it. Yeah, he's got that it factor too. Can see that as well.
I want to do my best to be a spark. I want to create excitement on the field. I want to be explosive when opportunities are there, and try to just bring a little bit of swagger.
Can you guys tell? He hasn't played. It's preseason. Yeah. Can you tell if a guy has the it factor before he's even played a game?
If I've been in the locker room on the field with him, yeah, you kind of know. You kind of know when a guy has an it factor. I think in this case, from my vantage point, from our seat, the vibe that he carries, that he walks with, the aura, if you will, that he carries.
It's very hip of you.
I know. You feel like there might be something to it. I got to see it. Yep. Because you can have all of that, and then when you get in between them lines, I don't care about any of that. Can you process? Can you go one progression to 2 to 3, or are you going to go from 1 to check down? And blocking for quarterbacks, specifically young quarterbacks, if they get hit early, then that time clock speeds up immediately. So I'm interested to see it. He gives off the aura and the vibes, but we got to see the performance.
That Harbaugh is talking about is the swag. You see the swagger from Jaxson Dart. You see it's on film. This young man, he plays the game with confidence and fearlessness that you want to see from your quarterback. So for the Giants fan base, it's a lot to be excited about. To your point, Greg, we haven't seen it, and we have to. We can't give anybody any titles or labels until we see it. But from what I've seen, I watched every snap of his preseason. He hasn't thrown an NFL pass in a regular season game yet, but I saw the confidence in himself standing tall in the pocket. He's not staring at the rush. He's not looking to just escape the rush. He's standing tall trying to deliver the ball to the playmakers. He has the confidence. He's fearless in the pocket. That swagger, that's the it.
So I watched the preseason too, and then I watched this. Well, I'm the talker, right? I didn't play, and so I watched the press conference after he got named the starter. We put a little supercut here together. This dude's got some serious confidence. Listen to a little bit more of Jaxson Dart here.
I'm ready. So it wasn't anything extra. In all reality, you have a different responsibilities as the starter. So I'm just locked in. The best players in the world are the ones that you are kind of involved with that word pressure. So I don't feel it in that standpoint. When you're watching film, you got to know exactly what you're talking about. You got to be on, point blank period.
This might be an insane call by me that I will be ridiculing myself on Monday. Early Baker. Like Baker Mayfield came in and was just and he didn't know what he didn't know, and young and dumb and all that stuff. And then obviously he had a ton of growing pains. But man, that guy walked in and I was like, oh, Baker Mayfield thinks he's the best quarterback in the world. That was my sense of how Jaxson Dart carries himself.
That's fair. That's fair. I see it, and I love that. You have to have that moxie. You have to have that swagger.
Especially at quarterback, right?
Mm-hmm. Really any position, but especially at quarterback, but any position in the NFL. You want to be yourself. You want to be you, let your personality show, let your confidence show. You got to back it up now, don't get me wrong. You have to back it up. Baker had his growing pains. Jaxson Dart will have his growing pains, for sure. But that confidence that he oozes, that you see throughout the film, that has to be there. It has to stay.
So he already exudes that in and of its own self. I think because of the lack of performances that Russell Wilson has had, and then in locker rooms, I don't care what locker room you're in, there's always going to be chatter. So if you are a starting quarterback and you're the backup, and you're struggling, we're talking to you like, man, I wish they had put you in, and you feel. So the more you hear that, the more it's kind of stroking your ego. So when you are up, it's like, yeah, man, I'm ready to go. Look, because you're thinking, man, everybody in here is ready for me to be out here. I should have been out here to start. It was no question in my mind. And so now We just got to see it.
Well, and listen, I didn't like their process because it felt like they're playing Dart because Russ struggled, not because Dart was ready.
Correct.
And I just fundamentally disagree with that. But it does show that they trust the kid, that they're not like holding him for the Saints game. You know, a lot of people say like, wait till you play a weaker opponent, wait till he has a bye week to prep. They're like, no, number 1 ranked defense, it doesn't matter. They're throwing him out there. Like that's a sign of confidence.
Yeah, I also think they kind of gave in because of the pressure and the boos and not wanting to kind of get
That's
the
a
finger
terrible
pointed.
way to do it.
It is.
That's a terrible way to do it.
But if you're Jaxson Dart, you're like, I don't care how I got it. I got it. I'm taking off the rearview mirror. It's my time.
Massive game coming up between 2 3-0 teams. Baker against Jalen. Who's got the edge? We get into it coming up on FTF. All right, Eagles are playing the Bucs, and it's in Tampa where it's going to be hot and it's going to be humid. So Philly flew in a day early to try to get acclimated to the heat. You guys have played in all sorts of inclement weather. Teron, you were in Miami.
Yep.
How big of a deal is it? Like, is it a huge advantage for Tampa?
It's a real thing.
It's a real thing.
It's a real thing. The weather, the humidity down in Florida, it is a real built-in advantage for the Bucs.
I'm sorry.
What's up, G?
I love how everybody forgets that I played in Miami too. I forget sometimes too.
You've been retired for forever. This guy can still be a left tackle in the NFL.
Yes,
okay?
he could.
All right, fine. Minnesota, Green Bay, and allegedly the Dolphins.
It is a thing.
You were a Dolphin?
I know, right?
How many passes did you catch? How many?
About exactly 6, 7.
I just learned about this new thing, 6 or 7. I don't understand it.
No, it's a thing, but I don't like when teams make it more than what it should be. Like, you still got to play ball. Yeah. Just go.
Show out, ball out.
Yeah. Don't change my schedule.
Hydrate.
Yeah, basically.
Don't fly in early.
No.
Good job. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you
He'll be back on FTF.